Oh, fuck, I muted my god. Sorry, I didn't unmute myself. Professional streamer, I do this 3 times per week. I know what I'm doing. I'm super smart. Okay, we might actually be playing Monster Hunter Wilds tomorrow already. Not I play on PC, and I totally forgot when that is going to unlock. But Amazon said we're going to get our PS5 version tomorrow, so that's gonna be fun. So by the way, let's hope this works and I'm not getting doxed again. Perfect. So yeah, welcome to Two Idiots Are Rating All the Mainline Monsters because we played too much Monster Hunter over the last decades.
I mean, mainly you, but yeah.
What?
Mainly you.
I played a fuck ton out of the series.
No, it's your tier list. I think I have played more by now than you.
Okay, that's actually true. I really hooked you on Freedom Unite.
Mm-hmm.
For everyone who wants to know our history with the series, I started with 1 and played that to a degree. And I mainly played the portable games, but I really played a lot of Freedom Unite because I think Freedom Unite is still one of the best games to this day in the series. Agonia started with Try on the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the one title that makes you trans. I will die on that joke. It's just too funny because it keeps being confirmed. The best conspiracy theory. Anyway, and then I showed her Freedom Unite, and yeah, she really loved Freedom Unite, and we basically have. No, we have every mainline title except the PS2 ones here. Maybe I should get those one day. We even own the Monster Hunter movie physically, which isn't that bad, as I said a few streams ago. It's shockingly not that bad, actually. So yeah, as you can see, we have a lot of monsters to go through because... Oh, even the Frontier monsters are in! Nice. Perfect, actually. The thing is...
By that reaction, you know how much Nya actually prepared for the stream.
Shut up! Can you just at least help me keep up the illusion that I know what I'm doing?
No, that's more authentic this way.
Doesn't help. So, how are we rating this? Because here's the thing. A lot of people just rate monsters, and I'm like...
You mean they rate fights?
They rate the fight. And I think the fight of a monster is usually like... It's weird, because like... I don't really think a lot of monsters have bad fights, aside from when they don't have a fight. Maybe this is just, me talking because I'm playing it for a long time, and also I think a lot of people playing the series just have the... I think there are a lot of people out there playing games that have the expectation that things...
Expectation.
The expectation that things should, work how they wanted to do, and not, okay, this is what the game hands me, how should I adapt to that? It's like, for example, Bizarrios for me is like, I like the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, it's such a bad fight, but ironically, when I look at it in terms of fight, not really. Because, yes, it kind of forces you into a few things, but it actually offers a lot of ways around it. Either you have high enough sharpness, you have fencing, or you just pick a weapon that does blunt damage.
Not blunt damage. It's more important that it's type of attack that doesn't bounce.
Yes, but like...
it will still have the malice of it,
mm-hmm.
but you won't bounce, so you're not as open to attacks afterwards.
Yeah, but the key to the thing is...
My first time playing against Bizarrios was just I think I played Longsword there when I first for the first time in Unite. I just triangled the thing to death. It took a while, but
it's doable. Like, there are actually a lot of ways how you can engage with the monster. It's not just like, oh, you always bounce off, and like, no, the bouncing is something when you have to work around and find ways. And they're like, as we demonstrated, there are a lot of ways to ignore that, actually. And again, if you then factor in the fact that this is supposed to be a co-op game, and especially the old games where, hey Claire, how are you doing? Yeah, we're tier listing now.
hey.
And if you factor in the fact that these games are supposed to be played co-op, it makes a lot more sense, because, you, for example, someone plays dual blades, longsword, the damage weapons, and another person plays the dooting horn or the hammer, which is also a damage weapon. Let's just be real here.
Later, that was more of a support weapon, but yeah.
Yeah, but like, you can just easily break the chest and kill it.
Or bring barrel bombs.
That's it. Wow, another way to really easily get rid of the rock chest of the thing. Because the moment the rock chest is gone, the thing is dead. Could you say it's a bit of a puzzle? Yes, what's a puzzle with, like, I think we already listed like 5 to 6 options that you can do. So I actually really like the fight, because
But we do not want to rate based on the fight.
We want to based on ecology and how it kind of is,
Basically, uniqueness of concept and execution of concept, if I remember correctly.
Right. Yes. And you know what? Let's actually just start with Basarios, because here's the thing. I'm going to say something when it comes to ecology. I actually think Basarios falls into the area of it's great. It's a simple thing, but the part is Basarios actually is there because it is part of a bigger ecosystem. But we get to that later, okay? Cephadrome. I'm actually very much like, is it bad? Kinda.
It's a sand shark.
It's a sand shark. It swims through the sand. That's it. It really does not do much more. Like, I think it's pretty mediocre, if we're honest. Diablos.
You can't really do Diablos before Monoblos. Because Monoblos was first.
Fatalis. Outstanding. Sorry, Fatalis is just like the whole idea of the ecology of a black dragon that comes up, just appears, is a calamity, destroys civilizations, but also, so lore-wise, Fatalis, if you wear Fatalis armor, it slowly fuses with you and creates a new Fatalis.
At least that's the story so far.
That's the story so far.
If it's true, is another matter.
Yeah. That's just really fucking cool. Like, absolutely love that. Gendrome. It's a small little raptor in the desert
That paralyzes you.
Yeah, like it's kind of bad. It's really here. I don't hate when I say they're bad ecology. I don't hate on them. I killed a lot of Gendromes in my life.
Maybe you should rename it to Bland then.
You know what? Bland. That's true. Because let's just be real here. Oh, the yellow-coded status effect in the desert. How original, Capcom.
Isn't it green?
No. The thing it blurbs out is yellow.
Okay, if you say so.
It's yellow.
Colorblind, again.
I know. Gravios. Gravios is great because, again, we're coming back to the Basarios ecology. Basarios is the juvenile form. And yes, it's a rock. It clads itself in rock to defend itself. But it also hides itself. It uses rock as a way to, hide in the volcanic areas and just be like, I'm just a rock. And I absolutely love that they put on the map similar looking rocks, and you need to look for the one where a stick pokes out, which it's a bit goofy, but it's cool because, yeah, you have the small one that wants to, hide and run. and then it grows up, and it's gigantic. But it's still a fucking rock on legs. But now, if it hits you with its tail, the tail is a fucking club, and it just kills you. It just does massive damage. It's like, this is just such a wonderful development in terms of,
Things
monsters.
we should probably add to the whole thing. We only, like, ecology-wise, in the game, we're covering basically first appearance.
Yeah, the first appearances, like when it showed up.
Yes, the Frontier version, especially Zenith Gravios, is a lot better in that sense, because it's really a fortress with artillery and everything.
Oh my, it's a volcano. It's like a walking fucking volcano. I love the design of it.
Yeah, but that's not what we're rating.
Yeah. By the way, they actually took some moves from Zenith Gravios and put them into Wilds, just a little bit weaker.
Watered down. A lot, actually.
But still, Zenith Gravios is still there for you. Gypsaros. Honestly, Gypsaros is average. I don't hate it.
Poisonous rubber chicken that steals items.
Yeah. Like, I like the fact that it's, it has some stuff where you're like, especially where you can talk about gameplay. It's just, the whole play dead thing is actually kind of neat. Because it's bad in terms of a gameplay mechanic, because no one falls for it.
Yeah, but what we still haven't said about all the things, it can also blind you.
It can blind you. It can poison you. It runs you over.
And steals items.
And it steals items, yes. I don't know if it still steals item in Wilds.
Well, that's not relevant.
I just wanted to think about it. Does it still do that? But yeah, it stole items back in the day. It was a thieving thing. And that was kind of cool. And also, it played dead, which no one fell for. But I think that actually made it kind of interesting, because other monsters / animals would fall for it. Because it's a reaction. It's not only a reaction, it's a defense mechanism that only works if if the thing you're fighting hasn't put all the evolution points into frontal lobe. Like, I'm sorry, we monkeys kind of broke the game. It's like, you're just playing, and the chicken's like, fuck, they think. But yeah, Iodrome, it's pretty bland. It's it's the red raptor in the volcano or swamp sometimes, and it spits poison. How original. So, this might be a bit of a hot take. I think Kizu's just average. I like Kizu. Don't get me wrong. It's overused nowadays, but I like it. It's just kind of average, when we're honest. It sits in a cave, on the ceiling, and, then stretches down its neck and swallows its prey whole. Yeah. And also it can shock you, because it has electricity. That's cool, but, it really doesn't do more, Okay, hot take. Kirin is kind of bland.
Well, it's a literal Kirin.
It's literally just a Kirin.
Although it can less fly than the Kirin in mythology, I guess.
Yeah. While I generally am questioning, why don't we have more horses? We have to reused for Kelbies every single time, and sometimes Kirin is brought back, but it literally is named after the mythological thing. It literally is the mythological thing, and there's no other horse. To a degree, Kirin feels like they wanted to go with it at some point, and then just didn't. So, it's not really original. Not a bad fight, and I don't hate the pony, but yeah. Lao Shanlong. Lao Shanlong is great. It's still simple, but the idea that you just have gigantic dragons that just wake up after centuries of sleep and then follow a path like salmons to their breeding grounds, but over land, through mountains, and if there's a city now, who cares? It doesn't care, it will just walk through that city and leave destruction in its wake. That's cool because, like, it's such a nice concept for a monster in general, because it just has a bit of it has a bit of dread, you know? It's just like, where does this come from? And yeah, Lao Shanlong, great concept. Monobloss. Okay, this is gonna be probably very, 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 it's outstanding. Here's the thing. Monobloss is actually so integral to the Monster Hunter, you know, lore to a degree. You didn't even know that the main theme is based on Monobloss. I'm not kidding. See, the thing is, Monobloss was supposed to be like this, you know, wyvern in the desert that attacks villages and is very destructive. And let's just be real here, it was a threat, but also there was the hero of, I think, Kokoto Village. That was the lord. That's the old elder of Kokoto Village. He's the hero, and he has slain a Monobloss and taken his horn. And the thing is, taking the horn of a Monobloss
in single
combat. This is, by the way, why in later titles, even in Freedom Unite, Monobloss is not available in the guild hall. The point of fighting a Monobloss is to fight it in single combat without help. Slaying it and gaining its horn. The horn gained in single combat is the proof of a hero. Yeah. That's why the theme of Monster Hunter is named Proof of a Hero. Because the first game was about slaying a Monobloss in single combat and gaining its horn as the proof of a hero. That's where the music plays, by the way, in the original game. I know, I'm taking out the really boomer deep lore here, but I am slightly pissed that Monobloss is just out of the series by now, because, like, I'm sorry, it was kind of integral. I mean, nowadays we laugh at it because, like, oh no, a Monobloss. You have to kill a Monobloss to prove yourself as a hero, but, like...
And just take the moves from Frontier, amp them up a bit, and bring it back in.
You could do that still, yeah. It would, honestly, it would be kind of a neat thing to bring that back as, you know, oh yeah, you have to, you know, to get commendations or so, kill it in single combat. Yeah, Monobloss. It's actually very integral to this to the series lore. Plesiof.
Diablos is now.
Okay, Diablos.
That's why we waited.
Diablos is just great. Monobloss, they really designed a lot of stuff about it.
Yeah, I think Diablos was kind of a secret boss, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was the point of it, basically, in the first game. Basically, Diablos was there, so you could, you were like, you know, Monobloss was the hyped up thing, the main thing. And it was like, here's a thing that's a harder version with 2 horns. That's twice the horn. It's more evil now. And you're like, oh. So we're getting here into the Monster Hunter deep lore. Plesiof. It's kind of average. I like Plesiof, but, like...
It's a big fish.
It's a big fish. It's not a bad thing, because I kind of like... Let me put it like it. The Piskin Wyverns have been done dirty. They're a great concept, because, you know, they're wyverns, so they still have a similar rig to the, you know, to the flying ones, but they're used for swimming. So they still have, like, this, you know, dragon-like aspect, but also fish-like aspects, which is cool. But again, Plesiof was just the big fish they had to do, because they kind of wanted to have a water monster besides Cephadrome. And both were also in the desert, which is just stupid. Rathalos, it's great. like it, because here's the thing. Rathalos is like supposed to be the king of the sky, one of the most fearsome monsters. It's also a pigeon. I really can't say much more about it. It's a pigeon. Because it lives everywhere. If there is a habitat where Rathalos can nest, it will nest. Period. It lives in deserts, it lives in swamps, it lives in, mostly in forests, on deserted islands. It's just, Rathalos is everywhere. Fuck you. Rathalos will be there. Oh look, it's the Forbidden Lands behind a big long desert with new and more unsettling monsters that may or may not be human created abnormalities, and Rathalos still lives there, because you can't kill Rathalos. They're the pigeons of Monster Hunter. Similarly, Rephian. You know what? First of all, they're a pair. We need more pairs in Monster Hunter. At home, in bed, surprise! Rathalos! Yes! You also can have a Rathalos under your bed. Or, if you play Monster Hunter Stories, I guess you just have a Rathalos by your side and pet it, and it's kind of cute. But yeah, Rephian.
The original Wyvern.
Yeah. Fun fact. Rephian was the first monster they ever designed in the series. If you're wondering, on the old Monster Hunter logo, that's not Rathalos. That's Rephian. They first designed Rephian. And they're a great mirror. Rathalos is in the sky and red, and it's like, look at me. I'm the king. I fly. I spit fireballs. And Rephian is green because she doesn't fly a lot. She hides in the brushes, defends the nest, hunts with ambush tactics, runs you over. It's just a really neat, dynamic between those two, because
she's basically the breadwinner, and Rathalos is more like the bodyguard.
Yes. Breadwinning girl boss Rephian, did you want to say? Yes.
Cringe.
We only produce the finest cringe on this channel, Nothing else. But also, Drum, it's bland. It's a raptor. I don't hate it, but it's bland. Yan Kutku. As much as I like Yan, it's bland. Okay. It's kind of just this, it's kind of a small wyvern, and in the original game, the first roadblock that teaches you, like, oh, this is how they are. Claire, would you rate Yan Kutku above mediocre? Okay, here's the thing. Kutku is cute. This one is not a rating on cuteness, because I really think Yan Kutku is very cute and derpy and stupid. It's also just a small bird wyvern that spits fire. That kinda is everything it is.
Yeah, just to recap, we wanted to rate the ecology concept and general implementation, lore-wise mostly. So not fight, not cute.
I will say though,
if cuteness would be rated, Yan Kutku would be up there.
Yeah, the thing is, we should maybe do a cuteness rating one day. That will be very interesting. I would say though, I might revise this list depending on how Wilds is, because in the trailers they have shown that Yan Kutku...
We said already.
And the point of origin.
Point of origin. And in point of origin, it was already... how's it called? What they did in Wilds? With the groups of Yan Kutkus.
It was a pack thing?
Yeah, because we knew that already.
We knew that, but they just never showed it. But now
they showed it in the opening.
Oh yeah, they showed it in the opening. But now we have them in game, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Ashen Lao Shanlong. It's a
thing
one
that walked for several decades, if not more, through a slightly different region, and thus its shell is colored differently.
That's it. That's the whole difference. Azor Rathalos, it ate well. That's literally that's the thing behind Azor Rathalos. It just ate well. That's it. Black Diablos. Actually, it's outstanding. You probably are like, what? Here's the thing. While Diablos has basically replaced Monoblos, because it kind of is the better fight to a degree. Black Diablos is great.
I still have to say they could have just improved Monobloss then.
They could have definitely improved Monobloss and make it more
That's
unique.
just their weird phobia of, oh no, we can't have two similar fights. People will get bored. Why do most people say Generations Ultimate is the best game then? There are lots of similar fights. But yeah, back to your
Basically,
point.
Black Diablos is great. And it's one of the few subspecies that are quote-unquote recolors that stand out because it's horny Diablos. Quite literally. A Black Diablos is a female Diablos in heat. This is why the body gets black, it gets more enraged, and it just attacks everything in sight.
Even more than normally.
Even more than normally, which is terrifying. And, oh god, how do you deal with that? It's such a good concept that it's actually one of the key focus points of the Monster Hunter movies for 2/3 of the movie. And I really like that part because, again, I think Black Diablos is such a great idea of a monster because, again...
It was probably also the reason why they introduced seasons in the first place.
Yeah, because they kind of brought in this whole idea that, with the changing times, monsters, breed and such. And, oh wow, one title later, we suddenly have seasons. And one of them is breeding season, which fits so well onto Black Diablos, actually. So yeah, great. Black Gravios, it just does a bit more explosions. Okay, by the way, 1G was a re-release they did back in the day in Japan with more online capabilities, but as you can see, it's mostly just subspecies in the sense that, it has a different color and it's a bit stronger. Crimson Fatalis, it's just a little bit
It's older. Lore-wise, it's an older Fatalis. That I still have to add.
It's just a bit, it's kind of an older Fatalis. And the Goldrathrian is, it ate even better.
Kind of.
Yeah, whoops, Green Plesiov.
It has sleep now.
Yes. Pink Graffian, it ate well. Let's just pair them right here because they kind of are. Purple Gypsaros.
The first one runs in a triangle.
This one runs in a square. Wow. Red Kizu. Okay, here's the thing. It still is just kind of this one is red and a bit smaller. Lore-wise, they have a few interesting things they, kind of hinted at, as in the original species of Kezus were the red Kezu, and it only then evolved to be white because it lived mostly in caves. But never expanded on, never really went onto with that, and also it just kind of is just a red Kezu.
Yeah, so basically they were probably more like leave me alone hunters with their bright red coloring. And living in caves made them probably slowly, more fatter and stuff because they didn't need to walk as much.
Yeah. Silver Rephilos, it's... You know the drill, white Monobloss. I'm also just not gonna be that nice to it. Scarred Yangaruga, Yangaruga basically is in here. That's Yangaruga, that's why it basically came in first. Not an F1. It wasn't Freedom 1, I know that. But I mean, you know what, let's just do Yangaruga first. I think they switched something up here with the naming. But yeah, you know what, let's put it here because it's just scarred. Let's go to Yangaruga. Yangaruga. It's kind of great because it's... Okay, here's the thing. Yangaruga is a solitary bird wyvern that is very, very closely related to Yankutku. But...
Hard legs.
What?
Hard legs.
It has very hard legs, yeah. It's just a lot stronger to a big degree. The thing is, though, it is probably the result. This is hinted at a bunch of times, never fully confirmed, but in multiple games they hinted at it. That this is actually the result of species interbreeding. because Yangaruga supposedly happen when a Rathalos fucks a Yankutku. I will reiterate what I will always say, despite the presentation, despite them kind of trying to drop that, you know, the origins of a lot of stuff in Monster Hunter are just like, nature is fucked up. And you just have to kind of deal with that. And I love the fact that Yangaruga is just kind of a fucked up concept. Because it explains why they're solitary, why they're so weird, why there's so little of them. It's just great, you know? So, Blangonga.
Big ape.
It's pretty mediocre. I actually like this one a bit more than, you know, the wyverns, because it's a bigger, angrier ape, and it has a pack of Blancos always with him that attack you as well. That's cool. You know, it's ape. Bulldrome. It's bland. You know, they had the Bullfungos in the first game and they ran you over, and that was annoying. And then they said, hey, let's make a big pig that runs you over. It didn't get a lot better. Chameleos. Chameleos is great. One of the few Elder Dragons we're currently talking about. What is so cool about Chameleos? First of all, it's invisible. It's like an invisible ambush hunter. Yeah, it looks weirdly. It steals your shit. It poisons you. Chameleos is just cool because it's a calamity. Like, it's actually a real problem because, you know, when an Elder Dragon shows up, lore-wise, they leave destruction behind. Would be really bad if you couldn't see that Elder Dragon coming, because all of the quests you get in the original games about Chameleos are like, hey, we just spotted a Chameleos, baby. Can you please investigate? We are having a problem right now. It's also one of those monsters that the guild actually, like lore-wise, is keeping secret. Because imagine if it came out, there's like a giant lizard walking around and it could just destroy a village and you wouldn't even see it coming. It could just pop up on your town square. Anyway, Kongalala. Okay, listen. I love Kongalala. I love that Kongalala is back in Wilds. It's bland.
Why is it bland?
Why is it bland? Here's the thing.
What does it do? Okay.
It farts.
It farts. It burps.
Yes. It's a stinky ape.
It changes based on what it eats. At least the burps.
That's true. Okay, are you going to put up a defense of Kongalala?
I have to at least give him a fair chance, okay?
Okay, you know what? Actually, yes. It's kind of interesting what it does because, you know, depending on what it eats, different status effects. So it's very dependent. But yeah, basically Kongalala is just big stinky ape.
Yeah, it makes you stink so much that you can't swallow things anymore.
Yeah. Daimyo Hermitor, great. I will not debate the crabs. I fucking love the crabs and I wish the crabs come back. Why? First of all, Daimyo Hermitor is cool because it's a big crab in the desert and or jungle. It burrows, it has ambush tactics, it can just also run you down, shoot you with water, but also, most importantly, it wears a skull on its back, which is a monobloss skull. So, those things actually hunt, you know, the thing you have to defeat in single combat.
Or just find when they're dead.
Yeah, but it's cool, you know. It wears it as a, you know, it wears it as a skull. So, you know, in the old games, you were like, oh, you know, those two are connected. That's cool, you know. They kind of build upon each other and they have a connection there. Kushala the Aura, outstanding. Kushala is like, I know Fatalis was the first dragon. Kushala, in my opinion, was the best dragon. Because, you know, especially back in the day. Because it's just this idea of... First of all, it's metal. It has a metal skin. And it controls the wind. And you're like in the jungle. And there's just a giant storm coming with rain. just torrenting down on you. But it's not a normal storm. It just exists because Kushala the Aura is there. And then later on they added, snowstorms and sandstorms, and you're like, because it's just this idea of there's a being that when it shows up, there's just a catastrophe in terms of a storm, and you just have to go into the eye of the storm, the literal eye of the storm, and defeat it. And the moment you hit it, you're like, fuck, the thing is out of metal. That's cool. It's great. It's very outstanding design. I have no notes. I love Kushala the Aura.
Side note, the fight would be better if it was immune to ranged weapons forever. And the only thing you could do is make it approachable by melee weapons. Because then we have Bazaris, and we said that's a good idea. Kushala is the prime monster to do it the other way around.
Fair point. Okay, Lunastra. It's great.
Chinese fire dragon? Basically.
It's a Chinese fire dragon. And you know what? Teostra as well. They're both recolors, basically.
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly. But, when I rate one of them, they're kind of just the same. So, take them and leave them. I would say World improved on them because they actually made them pair up when they were introduced. That was cool. Because, they're technically, they are the Elder Dragon equivalent to Rathalos and Rathian. And I like that. I generally like that when you have multiple, how's that called in biology?
Dimorphic?
Dimorphism, yes. I know not every species has that, but a bunch of them have. And I wish Monster Hunter would have more dimorphism in its series. They kind of stopped doing that. Getting really technically. Rajang. Okay, I'm going to be... This is a hot take, but in terms of ecology and design, it's just kind of average.
It eats the electro horse.
That's the cool part, but let's just be real here.
Solitary, migratory, yeah, that's about it.
It's a Super Saiyan.
Yeah, that as well.
It's a big monkey. Sorry. It's a big monkey that gets powered up and literally gets yellow hair. It's a Super Saiyan. It's cool, and I will put it on average because, let's just be real here. The baseline was they wanted to put Son Goku in the game. Actually, can we just talk about how two of the biggest Japanese series just have, very blatant Dragon Ball Z references in them, and they just got stuck?
If I remember correctly, Rajang was a side project some developers did on the game, and it was basically not really balanced the first time it was shipped.
Yeah, basically they talked about that a while ago, that they were someone just was oh, we have this monkey rig, and then they're just hey, haha, I can make Son Goku as a monkey. And then they were and then, the producer was oh, you have another monkey ready, and they were yes, can we balance it? And he was no. The game is shipping. They're okay. And Rajang was completely overtuned and basically the endgame stomper. Cool history. I love Rajang, but the thing is, it would have put it in mediocre because it's just a Saiyan with a Super Saiyan form. But it's kind of cool because it hunts Kirins, which is one of the coolest things, because this is the first time we learn there are monsters out there that hunt Elder Dragons, the supposedly untouchable ones, and there it is. Big monkey goes up to Electric Horse, breaks its neck and eats it, and that thus gains electricity. That's why Rajang is, by the way, electric. Which is kind of interesting that we didn't really get any subspecies from Rajangs that have different, eating habits, but okay. Rusted Kushala the Aura. Okay, it's a neat concept, but it's just very, very similar.
Kushala the Aura does make a lot of rain, it rusts, and needs to shed its shell.
Yeah, basically...
It's kind of in Kushala the Aura already.
It kind of is that, it's just, oh, look, it rusted because, all the rain and wind, and thus it has to shed its skin. Just while it's rusted, it's kind of easy to fight. Yeah, this is one of the few times we have a reverse subspecies, as in, the rusted one is deliberately easier than the normal one, because you first fight the rusted, then you fight the normal one. Shengaren. Okay.
Really, really big crab that wears Lao Shan Lung as its shell.
It's kind of great. And
it has an artillery with which it besieges cities.
Yeah, like, I know you can say, yeah, are you biased towards the crabs? Yes, I am biased very much towards the crabs, but that's just so cool, because as Agonia said, you fight basically 2 crabs across the whole game, and then suddenly the game is like, here's a big crab. It even fakes you out. It's like, they're like, oh, the approaching Lao Shan Lung. That's that, in the second edition titles, in Freedom 2 and Freedom Unite and also 2, because they expected to have been played Monster Hunter 1, and it was like the approaching Lao Shan Lung, and then it's like the same name, just question mark, because Shengaren wears Lao Shan Lung skull on its back and, walks in, and you're like, that's not Lao Shan. Oh, big crap. Oh no, big crap. It's big crap.
Fight-wise, it's sadly ass, but that's nothing they couldn't fix.
Yeah.
They just don't want to.
They for some reason really do not want to fix siege fights. Like, I think they made exactly one good siege fight, and that's Skog Mazios.
And even that is a bit gimmicky with the rails and stuff.
But it's still the best they did. Shogun Senator, I mean, it's kind of similar, but by the way, Shogun Senator has some different attacks, some different variations. It's great. It's still a crab, but also it wears Gravios' skull on its back. Again, ecology linking. It just makes a neat circle.
Which is why, since in some games, there's Gravios missing.
Yeah.
So the Shogun Senator shouldn't be in there.
Yeah,
or at least it should have a different shell.
Yeah, it's always weird when they do that, and then they just make, if you break the shell, then you just get like an average, it's just a big, special wyvern bone stuff, and you're like, but it's Gravios. Why, or Monoblos. Why did you do that? It's weird. Anyway, White Fatalis. As much as I like it, it's just very similar. It's just a strong one. Yamatsukami, outstanding.
Older.
Even older. Outstanding. Why? First of all, it's weird. Like, ironically, right now, they just had an interview with during Wilds, where they mentioned that Yamatsukami was literally designed to be a weird cryptid. Because it's this floating balloon with tentacles that just, like, when normal Elder Dragons destroy ecosystems, it do so because, they have just fire powers that burn everything down, or other, torrents of storms they summon that just rip everything out. Yamatsukami just floats over something and sucks it in. It's a giant floating, how's it called again? Staubsauger. Vacuum. It's a giant floating vacuum. It just sucks everything in, and that's how it eats. That's terrifying. Imagine it's just a thing that can just float over you, inhale, and you're dead.
Yes, story and lore-wise, it eats entire ecosystems. It's basically a giant floating thing, which they could never really represent in a game. Maybe they can do it in Wilds.
Who knows? It would be great to bring them back.
I want to harpoon it.
They have a Cephalos rig now. No, not Ceph. Octopus rig. They have an octopus rig.
Yeah, I want to harpoon it. Because I generally can't think of many other ways how to get on that thing.
Akantor. Akantor is, let's just be real here, kind of average.
It's an old monster that was driven back into the Vulcan belt. Basically.
Into the volcanic belt, and it's basically just a gigantic, spiky fire beast that when it breaks out, it just destroys everything. Like, it's basically a big Elder Dragon without the Elder Dragon label. It's cool, but like, it's really not that much more. It's just kind of cool that it's like this, in the first 2 generations, they imply that the volcanoes are in something that is called the volcanic belt, more to the south, and like in the inner parts, and you're just in the outer parts. You're basically just hunting monsters on the outer parts to prevent them from leaving it and doing chaos. And Akantor is like just the next step. It's just worse. It's just even it's bigger, and it's not trapped in there, but it just lives there. And if it comes out due to reasons, well, that's worse. Geodrome, it's bland. I mean, Freedom 2 gave us an ice biome, so they made a raptor that spits ice. Next, I guess. It's not much to say about Tigrex. It's great.
Interesting that you rated ecology-wise better than Akanto, even though I don't really see it.
So why I like Tigrex is, first of all, it's a migratory being. It hunts in deserts, but lives in, mainly lives in, the ice range. But also, it's just a hyper-aggressive hunter. Hyper-aggressive territorial hunter. That's just... but like the whole thing that it also just has this really big migratory... Like, it's a cat. It's a rabid, aggressive tiger cat that just has a gigantic fuck-off...
Tiger, basically.
It's a tiger. Because the thing is, tigers have very big territories, actually, that span sometimes multiple zones of climates in, where they are. Like, from jungles to, water basins, or, from mountain ranges to savannas. And Tigrex is kind of that, but just as this, it's just a big migratory thing that hunts everything in sight. So, now we get to some spicy takes. Copper Blangonga. I think this one is actually kind of average, but I would actually rate it because it's not that similar. I mean, yes, you could say it's kind of a recolor, but actually the model is a lot more different than most recolors.
We don't rate the model.
What?
We don't rate the model in the first place.
But also the thing is, ecology-wise, Copper Blangongas are basically a similar cousin, but they're solitary and much stronger and live in deserts. So they're just, ecology-wise, a lot more different in terms of how they just behave than Blangongas. It just kind of makes them more interesting and its own thing to a degree.
There's also not that many of them left.
Yeah, it's like, that's actually the saddest part, because you know when that game series unintentionally writes its own stories? Because in Freedom Unite, they basically said that, there are not a lot of Copper Blangongas, because they kind of implied, the Copper Blangongas were actually the original ones, and, just a few of them moved into, the snowy mountains and, the mountain, and the ice ranges where they had developed pack tactics and were just generally better at surviving. So, the original species became, the one that hasn't a lot of monsters anymore and is dying. And from what I know, Copper Blangonga has never shown up again in the series. So, it's kind of grim to imply that it's almost dying out and it just barely shows up in the series, which is like... I know those are virtual things, But it's like kind of a perfect setup for a headcanon of... You're watching a species die. It just doesn't show up a lot anymore. Emerald Kangalala, it's just too similar. Furious Rajang, oh boy, it's constantly in Super Saiyan mode. King Shakalaka. I mean... Okay, you know what? King Shakalaka is kind of great. Because Shakalakas are idiots. They're just absolute stupid idiots. And they're dead. Because of their leaders. Basically, there are a lot of small species in the world of Monster Hunter. There are, the palicos, the cats. We all love the cats, okay? And the shakalakas are kind of, from what I know, they're related, but there is different species. They're a bunch of small species. The thing is just, the shakalakas are a warrior species, and they're also territorial, and they're prideful, and they wear the mask, and they want
very nationalistic.
And very, very nationalistic. And they kept doing beef with the guild. The shakalakas you recruit in Monster Hunter Tri and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate are kind of the last ones of their kind, because, that, started working together with humans. But, the shakalakas are basically dead. Because the guild told them, stop attacking people. You know you can hear us. You know you don't have a chance. And then the shakalakas just declared war anyway. And then they died in what is basically a genocide. I know, hard word to say, but that basically happened to them. They just died out because they kept doing war with the humans. And it's kind of like, again, the Monster Hunter world is fucked up. And it's depressing to think about that something is there that just destroyed itself, basically. Let's do a few ones quickly. Plum, Daimo, Hemitor. It's just they're just similar. They're cool, by the way, because, the Plum, Daimo, Hemitor wears a Diablo's skull. It's like obvious upgrades from Monoblos. But here's the thing. Considering how much Monoblos is missing from modern titles, I wouldn't have budged an eye if, for example, in Rise, the Daimo Hemitors would have just worn Diablos skulls that much.
Would actually make more sense.
Yeah.
Like,
or Almudron's skulls.
Lore-wise, there aren't even that many
Monoblos left.
Yeah.
It's like, adapting to skulls. It's like, it's cool that they have different skulls, but also like, it's not much. Naga Kuga. Outstanding. First of all, it's cat.
That's not something you should...
I am biased, but anyway, the thing is... Naga Kuga is... What?
I don't let you do that then.
I want to talk about the general ecology.
That's what you can rate.
Yeah. Naga Kuga is great because it basically takes the concept of Tigrex and makes it a highly skilled hunter of forests and especially jungles. If Tigrex was a brute force running you down, Naga Kuga is the same force, but it hides. It attacks you from out of sight. It has basically blade-like wing appendages that can cut you. And some can even poison you. It's just like, it's a terrifying thing, to think about that. You're in a forest or a jungle, and this thing can stalk you and kill you, and you could do nothing about it. It's just like, hyper adaptive hunter. Ukan Loss. It
driven back behind glaciers until it broke free and unite.
Yeah, driven back behind. Okay. Correct me if you heard this before. A giant wyvern that is basically an apocalypse on 4 legs that was driven in the deepest reaches of the snowy mountain ranges behind the glacier, and when that glacier collapsed, it was freed, and then now people had to hunt it down so it doesn't destroy any villages.
Yeah, it's the opposite part of a cantor.
Ukanos in a cantor, like, it's just a mirror. It's cool, and I love it, but they're mirrors. It's like, it's an icebreaker on legs, and that's cool. Like, it literally is, designed like an icebreaker.
That would be ecology.
Do you think I should put it more up.
It's your tier list. I'm just saying.
It is.
You sometimes seem to like selectively ignore the ecology in some ones.
No, I would say. Okay, here's the thing. I would say in terms of Vulcanlos, it has. This is why I swap them. It has a bit more interesting aspects to really focus on its ice part, because again it has this icebreaker chin.
So you say, if you're going with that ordering, you're saying that Cephadrum is more unique than Blanconga.
Yes.
Right now. Okay.
It swims through the sand. That's still a bit more interesting than Monkey.
True.
But yeah, I like them. Actually, here's the thing. What I really would have loved to see from the series, because they kind of started making combined areas, like for example the Oilwell Basin and Wilds is a swamp and a volcano. I really would have loved to see if they made like a big snowy volcano. Like you had like this inner lava cavern part that's like hot. There are some lava fields on one side, and then the other part is just full of snow, and there's like an arboreal forest and maybe a glacier. Especially now that there are multiple monsters on the map, and they could technically make bigger maps if they didn't scale up the graphics so much. I would have loved to see like Ucanos and Acantor on one map. That would have been great.
True.
Vespoid Queen. Okay, here's the thing.
It's not unique, that's for sure.
It's not really unique. It's just kind of mediocre, really, because it's a big insect. It's cool that they have a big insect, but also it's just kind of a big insect. That's it. And it lowers your defenses, which is like, okay. Okay, so where are we? We're entering the 3rd generation. This is going to be spicy. Agnactor, it's great. I love Agnactor. It's just burrowing slinky noodle in volcanoes that shoots laser beams, and also, crucially, it coats itself with lava/magma to develop a hard shell. It's cool because this is one of the few times where this ecology thing of burrowing through hot ground is part of the fight also, and I have to bring it up because I like it. Because it has this magma and...
No, you don't have to bring it up because you like it.
Okay. Because it has the stone on its, on its body that just gives it a really good defense, and you can break it off. Mm-hmm. But crucially, it gets heated and you can cut through it after it burrows. So it's actually just kind of a cool monster in that idea, because it creates its own weakness, which is kind of also its greatest defense. But also it's like, hey, it made big attack, now you have to be aggressive. Love it. Alatreon. That's the easy one. Let's just be real here.
Unstable Elder Dragon.
It's an unstable Elder Dragon that controls all elements.
No, not really.
But most elements, basically.
Depends on how you count.
Yeah, but it's great. And in general, the idea of an Elder Dragon being unstable, that's...
In general, what can it do? It has fire, electric, and dragon, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really have much control over them.
Yeah. So again, it's unstable, and if you break its horns, it becomes more unstable. So, yeah, it's actually kind of cool to have this one. It's just unstable. Barioth.
Snowcat. Basically Nagakuga.
Yeah, that's like the thing. Considering when it was introduced and how it is, it's just kind of average. Like, it's not bad, it's cute, and I like it, but like, it's just Snow Naga. With a bit of Tigrex in it. And that's it. Let's just be real here.
Mm-hmm.
Barroth. Barroth is great. Barroth is literally, it lives in the mud. It throws mud around. It's a bit of territorial aggressive. It's a small Diablos, but it has its own, identity, because, living in mud and, having the mud coating, great. I hope no one at Capcom develops an obsession with mud and is put into designing a lot of monsters for a new title. That would be bad. Kaidos. Let's just be real here. It's kind of bland.
It's the big Viking baby.
It really is just that. It's just a big baby in a cave, and that's it. Even as the even as the conclusion to to try, it's like, oh, so it wasn't Lagiacros, obviously not. It wasn't Lagiacros. It was just a big fish in a cave that panicked. There's really not much more to say about Kaidos, actually. So, on to the fun ones. Devil Joe's outstanding. I mean, is it Godzilla? Yes. Is it an absolute terrifying beast in its own right? Yes, because it's like an eternally hungry pickle that walks everywhere through the world and just eats everything in its path. Great. That's terrific. That's terrorizing.
With permateeth growth.
Yeah. And also, don't listen to the lies. It actually doesn't eat its own tail. Sadly. Giginox. Giginox is great. Like, here's the thing. Yes, Giginox is kind of like the ice, the new version of Kezu. It's just also better than Kezu. It's actually very much adapted to dark caves. So, you actually had to lit up candles back and try, from what I remember.
Like, not candles, but...
They were like torches. It is much more adept at slinking around. It actually has offspring that attacks you. So, yeah.
And I think it can procreate with itself.
Yes. It's just kind of a terrifying eldritch thing in the dark, and that's cool. Gobul. Gobul is also great. Why is Gobul great? You're like, it's just a lanternfish. Yes, but here's the thing. You've never seen a real Gobul. Every Gobul is a juvenile. They're still big, but yeah, Gobuls go to coastal waters or, in the flooded forest to hunt as juveniles because they're small. In the open ocean, they would just die. And they're still, like, wreaking havoc because they're just, good ambush hunters and really, really strong. But they're such a danger, and they're just a juvenile. When they grow up, they actually go into the deep sea, never to be seen again, but apparently grow even larger. Like, to absurd degrees. Which makes you question why Kaidos was in Try and not, they could have made an adult Gobul that was trapped in a cave on its way back. Just saying, they could have gone that route. But still, Gobul, great idea. Great Buggy.
It's the Sleep Raptor.
It's the Sleep Raptor. It's goofy. But it's the Sleep Raptor. And the Great Yagi is just the goofy raptor. I love it because it's a goofy raptor, but, like, it really is not more than a goofy raptor. Yanmaran. Really cool, but also kind of mediocre. It's a big sandfish.
Narwhal more.
It's a big sand narwhal, yes. Cool, but I don't think that these guys aren't all that great. They really aren't that great, that's true.
Compared to the not great drones and yagis and buggies.
Yeah. Lagiacrus, as we call it Lagiacrus in this household. It's great. It's a big crocodile with electric. Can I really say more? Kuropeko. That's an outstanding one. They're cowards for not bringing back Kuropeko. Why is Kuropeko outstanding? First of all, it's a parrot. It mimics other monsters. And that's great because it can just, yes. But the thing is, Kuropeko is on its own sucks. it has some things that makes it annoying. Like, for example, it has very hard claws at the end of its wings, which can it use like, flint and steel to make some small explosions. So on its own, it's even like, it has some things, it's clever, it uses things, it's an intelligent bird, but also, it can mimic monster cries. So, it's like, oh no, I get attacked. Do a devil joke cry. Or what we had, we're like, oh, it's just a Kurupeko, cries for help, Gold Raffian shows up. We were playing low rank. It's like, I fucking love this thing because it hates you. It just makes you're like, oh god, this fucking thing. Like, why do you call for help? Why do you call the evil ones for help? What is wrong with you, you little shit? Royal Ludroth. It's a bit mediocre. Like, the thing is, they made, they had a game with water, and they have the basic lizard that's in the water, and its water ability is to soak it up with a sponge.
I have a soft spot for it because it was like the first thing where ever actively made armor from. But yeah.
Yeah. Uragan. Uragan is great.
Also eats ore, similar to Basarius and Gravius. It kind of melts them. That's why they have this chin.
I mean, that's the thing. The chin is big, not only to use it, as a hammer, but like to use a hammer to make it down, to slam it down, but also to grind it. Like it's a millstone basically. And yeah, it falls into a similar category of Basarius and Gravius, but it rolls around, and it has half pipes, and it engages in territorial battles with other Uragans by basically fighting while rolling around. Cool. Like it.
They're vertical Beyblades, basically.
They're basically vertical Beyblades. Amatsu. Listen, I don't hate Amatsu, but it's kind of average. Let's just be real here. It's a cool Elder Dragon, especially as, a capstone, but like, oh, the Japan-inspired Monster Hunter has a floating dragon on top of a mountain that is Japan-themed, and it's called Amatsu. Yeah, I can't really add a lot of stuff, but it's just a winged Elder Dragon, and Kushal the Aura kinda did that better.
I mean, technically it's wind and water, but yes.
Yes. Atsurus, it's also just kinda average. It's a big bear that eats honey.
So it's more unique than Zephadron.
Yes.
Interesting.
Do you really think it should be more mediocre?
I think a sand shark is more unique than a bear.
I mean, the sand shark, in my opinion, is just kind of like a very obvious fantasy trope. Big blue bear that eats honey? Okay, that's also... You know what? It's kind of mediocre. Let's just be real here. Baleful Giginox, too similar. I'm sorry. Despite a lot of stuff being good, Brood Tigrex, it's a more angry Tigrex. Crimson Kurupeko, really... Duramboros. Duramboros is great. Like, the thing is... okay, you know what, Claire? We are in a democracy here. We can change our mind. That's legal, right?
Only every 4 years.
Can't change this rating now for 4 years anymore. Whoops. Duramboros, great. It's big. It eats wood. And also it just has like a big fuck off. Thing to swing on its tail.
Yeah.
So
if you think Uragan is big, Duramboros is bigger.
Yes. Also, it can actually start becoming a Beyblade and then jump in the air and crash onto you. Duramboros is great. Yeah, it's literally it's the maze one. Okay, Glacial Agnactor is actually pretty great. Why? Because it actually is it's a subspecies but it's a subspecies that actually has adapted to a new environment. Yes, it uses the same, kind of the same abilities as Agnactor, drill through things, but it uses different materials to actually, it uses actually ice to defend itself. And has, also spits ice because it adapted this element. It's cool. But also, this kind of impacts the fight of it being more unique because it kind of, by changing its environment, it changed the strength of its defense. While, Agnactor defends itself with rock that gets heated while burrowing through,
So you
lava
need to
and molten.
aggressive when it does that.
Yes, glacial Agnactor actually hardens while being in ice because it, sheets itself with ice. So when it's in the ground, it freezes over and is harder. So you need to keep it out of the ground and attack when it, when the ice gets, less strong. Cool. Great Roggy. It's
Iodrome 2.
It's Iodrome Part 2. What can I say? Green Naga. It's green. Jade Baroth. Oh boy, we have some emeralds. Lagombi. It's Benui.
Yeah. It's...
Yeah. You know what? Purple Ludroth. It soaked up poisonous water. Sand Barioth. It now lives in the desert. Styluragan. More defense. Daring today, are we? Nibelsnuff. Nibelsnuff is great.
We're back to the interesting ones.
Yes. Why? It's basically Nibelsnuff is the better Cephadrome. It swims in the sand, but also it does big gulp and eats things. It spits sand. It's also just kind of cute, and also hides itself in sand dunes. So it kind of has stuff from Cephadrome, Basarios. It takes a lot of good parts from a lot of a lot of monsters and just makes a really good unique one. Demon Snuff is just great. Bolvidon. It's the stinky one. Zinogre, outstanding. It's the first fanged wyvern we've ever had. It's basically a wolf, but also the thing is, it's a very strong solitary hunter that lives in harmony, as always loved that, in symbiosis with fulgur bugs that nest.
Not fulgur.
No, sorry, with what was it again?
I believe they're called thunderbugs.
With thunderbugs living in its fur. So, bugs create the electricity that it then discharges, and stores in its hair, static electricity. It's just a great idea because, sometimes you just have to be like, how do monsters create their abilities? And it's either just raw power, and some things are just destruction and ancient things like Kushala Aura, or, it's just nimbleness in terms of Nagakuga, and also intelligence. Nagakuga is much more intelligent than most monsters. But Zinogre has a symbiosis with bugs you already knew. And that's cool. Abyssal Lagiacros, yeah.
Brachydios?
I think it's Brachydios in English, but yeah.
Brachydios.
Okay, here's the thing. That's an outstanding one in my opinion.
Symbiosis with fungus. Explosive fungus.
Yeah, and symbiosis with fungus that basically creates a slime that when compacted explodes. All of these things actually exist. There are materials, that explode when when put under pressure. For example, nitroglycerin is the perfect example of that. And they are all things that could be produced by funguses because funguses can produce anything. So, and it's a terrifying concept that there is a wyvern out there that just started having a symbiosis with that kind of thing and use it to enhance his punching. It's great. It's terrifying. Diameralis.
It's a volcano.
It's a volcano in the water. Yeah, they didn't really have a lot of a good end, capstone ones in the third generations, especially when it came to water, which is weird because again, why is all the good stuff on land and not in the water? Goldbeard Kados, yeah. Halogen Moran, what can I say? Ivory Lageracrus. I mean, you could say Lucent Nagakuga it can be a bit invisible, but like, there's not really a big difference. Rasterembros. Savage Devil Joe. It's just constantly more angry. Stygian's an ogre. Here's the thing. Stygian's an ogre is basically, I think Fulgur bugs are now nesting, and that's actually kind of cool. Because now it has dragon element, because there are different bugs in it. So, actually, that's kind of a great thing. It's actually, expanding on the ecology that, yes, it has a symbiosis with bugs. It can have symbiosis with other bugs. Which is kind of interesting that they have never done anything more, because the irony about Zinogre is it kind of started a thing that we will see over and over and over again. Oh boy, your monster is electric? How about the subspecies has some dragon that just behaves like electric? And you just sit there being like, daring today, aren't we? Darren Moran, it's a variant of Yen Moran. Like, it's very similar. It's also just kind of mediocre.
Interesting. So it's not too similar. Okay.
I mean, the thing is, Darren Moran, from what I know, is still its own monster, not a subspecies, but it's very similar. So I'm putting it similarly. Dalmadur. It's big snake.
Snake-ish. It's not really a snake.
Ironically, from what I know, it actually uses the Leviathan rig, not even the Snake Wyvern rig, but it's there and it's kind of cool. Okay. Okay, do I want to piss off everyone in the room?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. Gormagala is, in my opinion, outstanding. I really love that fucking thing.
It's overhyped.
It's overhyped.
But it's not bad. And since we're rating ecology, it's something that isn't done that often. First
of all, Gormagala is the same thing that I love about Basarius and Gravius. It's a juvenile form. We don't have a lot of juvenile forms. Also, it's kind of unsettling because, it's a juvenile form that molds. It's not, growing, it literally molds.
It's a cocoon, technically.
Yeah, it's a cocoon. That's great. But also, it has a virus that makes it's basically rabies on legs. Like, the simplicity of Gormagala makes it so great. It looks alien because, it's a cocoon. I love juvenile forms. And also just spread elder dragon rabies that just upheaves every, ecosystem it's in. And I think that's probably the most interesting part. We actually do not know how Gormagalas are like. Like, keep in mind, elder dragons are intelligent beings. And we know Shagarumagalas are much less aggressive later on. But Gors, they're just hyper-aggressive. Maybe Gormagalas were once actually a nice species you could live side by side with. We don't know. There are a lot of monsters that are less aggressive and even tame. But the thing is, there are none of them left. The only ones running around spread rabies.
Basically, yeah.
Basically. They're to a degree a dying species, and they can't escape the fact that they have to attack everything because they're like fucking fantasy rabies. It's cool. And yeah. Okay, Catcher Watcher. It's kind of average. I mean, here's the thing.
Swinging monkey.
It's a swinging monkey, and it can flap ears down to have a different face. To mimic a different face. Cool. It's just also kind of a swinging monkey. Molten Tigrex. Najarala, great. It's snake. It's big rattlesnake. Generally, I love snake wyverns. We need more snake wyverns. It's kind of cool because it actually is different from leviathans, because leviathans have the feet on the ground. It's front feet. They walk with that. Leviathans are long and slinky, but four-legged. Snake wyverns, snake across the ground.
They slither.
They slither across the ground. That's the word, yes. And can stand upright and have their hands free, which is just a great adaptation and makes them really unique. And we only have Najarala. Nesrilla is great. I can't hate on Nesrilla because, first of all, spider. Second of all, it webs you in. But also, crucially, it has a symbiosis with Gypsaros. They're really bringing back an old monster, giving it some more relevance. That's cool.
I wouldn't call it symbiosis, but yeah.
I mean, it has a connection to it because it hunts Gypsaros, skins them, and wears their skins as a protective layer. I love that because once similar to our crabs, and I love the crabs wear skulls from other monsters as protection. Najarala skins other monsters to have more protection. Cool. It's kind of horrifying, it's a bit gruesome, but cool. Love it.
I mean, it's perfect because Gypsaros saves it from electricity.
Yes, which it's weak against. Clever, right? Orochi Kirin. Hey, we're continuing the whole trend of, oh, you have an electric monster, how about we made a dragon? Ruby Bazarias. Oh no. Celtas. Celtas is... It's kind of average.
Big flying bug, yeah.
It's a big flying bug. It's kind of better than, our other big flying bug. But it's a good flying bug. Celta's Queen. That one is great. Because Celta's Queen and Celtas belong together. But also, dimorphism. I will repeat it once again. I love dimorphism. Celta's Queens are big, big things that walk over the ground and burrow. They don't fly. The Celtas fly. The Queens don't. And also, the Queens can put Celtas on their back and combine to kind of a mecha. It's neat, but dimorphism, territorial brute force of an insect. We do not have enough insects, and having one that is a big brute force, cool, love it, great design. Shagaru Magala. Listen, I can't put it, I can't say it's... I can't not put it there. We have Gore up there, and Shagaru is just if we say the juvenile form is great, Shagaru is just the juvenile form hatches and it becomes worse. So it's now...
You literally said they're less aggressive.
Yes, but they're still a calamity and destroy a lot and still spread rabies.
And they fly more.
They fly more. So yeah, Shagaru Magala. It's cool because, we have dichotomy. That's a juvenile form.
Also, it's a moth dragon.
Yes, it's a moth dragon, which is great. Tetsukabra.
Big tusky frog.
It's kind of mediocre. It's a big toad. It's a big toad that burrows up rocks. It's cute, and I love it, but it's a big toad that burrows up rocks. Let's not kid ourselves. Sumptuous. Average, but great. I mean, it's it's kind of a shark on ice that inflates itself. That's goofy, but also not really more. It's a cool design, though. Yeah. Let's just get some... Chaotic Gormagala. Okay. I know too similar is usually a thing where, But, that one deserves a bit of a... Because, here's the thing. Chaotic Gormagala is a great idea because it kind of feeds into the Gormagala Shagaru Magala cycle. It is, to a degree, another Gormagala, but the thing is, when a Gormagala transforms into a Shagaru Magala, it molds. But that can go bad. And a chaotic Gormagala is a Gormagala where the molting process didn't work. So it's just stuck in between. But also it's in horrifying pain. So you have the rabies monster that now is living just an internal life, hell life of pain until it dies. That is horrifying, that's brutal, and it's kind of cool.
A cool concept, yeah.
It's a cool concept. It's a great concept in my opinion because, like, yeah, it just adds more to a subspecies than it's just angry. You know, it's angry because of, like, again, Black Diablos is technically also just a more angry Diablos, but for good reasons. And I think that's, you know, that you know, as I told us, it lives in the desert. It lives in the desert. Gogmasios. Gogmasios is great. Simply to the fact that this is like the one siege fight that works, and also it's a big dragon covered in oil that eats black powder. This is why the thing just keeps attacking cities. Horrifying.
Also just sleeps for decades in swamps.
Yeah. Sleeps for decades in swamps, wakes up and is like, I want black powder, so it just goes to the nearest city. It's a problem because it literally seeks out cities. Yeah. Raging Brigadiers. It's just, you know, more angry Brigadiers. Seregios. It's great. I don't think, you know, Steve is like the best monster, but I will not hate on Steve. It's, basically they were just, basically Gore just kind of, you know, they were basically just nesting on an island and were left alone. Like the guild was just like, they're on their island, leave them alone. That's just that. It's not our problem. And then they decided, and you know, then Gore came in and they basically dispersed all over the continent, and it's great. I like it. It's more of a nimble flying wyvern that, you know, it rams you, it steps at you, it you know, flings some adapted scales at you that cut you. It's great.
Makes you bleed.
Yeah. Segregios, great design. Absolute nice idea of ecology of this. It's technically docile, but the moment you disrupt their way of life, they just become a problem. Cool. Love it. Shah Dalmadur. I mean, Shroudedness Shrella. What can I say? Tidal Najarala. Yeah. Not a lot. Okay, we are the generations. We're almost through with them. At least with the with the mainline ones. Okay, let's just start the biased ones. Astalos. It's amazing. Here's the thing. If you're not coming at me and be like, wait,
the RGB wyvern.
Yeah. Wait, Nia, are you biased for the Fated 4? Yes. It's the RGB wyvern. It is it's an insect. It has a railgun tail, and it's aggressive as fuck and just rams out of the sky. It's literally a supercharged Rathalos. And it's great. Also amazing theme. Crystalbeard Uragan, who cares? Dead-Eye Yangaruga, who cares? Dread King Rathalos, who cares? They're just literally longer surviving ones. Drill Tusk Tessuraba, nope, Gamoth. Okay, here's the thing. You probably are like, oh wait, are you really gonna do this? Yes, I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna put Gamoth up here because it's big fucking Törö. It's an elephant. I absolutely... What?
A mammoth, actually.
Yeah. It's a mammoth. It's a big fuck-off mammoth that walks through snowy mountain regions and is just an unstoppable force of nature. There are not enough big monsters that are just unstoppable forces from nature. It's a pushover in a fight, but in terms of ecology, this idea of something that is, that can tackle the strongest monsters in the ice region and survive by just sheer brute force is great, and I love it. Gamoth is great. Glavenus. What do you mean another outstanding monster design? Because it basically is Abiru, but better. It has
Yes and no. Yes and no.
It has a sword tail and literally attacks other monsters by being weird. Like, it can literally cut other monsters, put them on fire, and is a very aggressive brute wyvern. Great Macau. It's a jumping one.
They certainly never put that much effort into the main small ones to make them unique enough, I think.
Yeah, I think
if they would put more effort in it, pretty much all of the bland ones could be lifted up to 2 tiers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Malfestio. Sorry, this one is also just outstanding. I think this one was actually for you, but like, first of all, it's an owl. But also, it confuses you. It literally switches you. Like, it's a monster that hides, confuses you, and flies away. It's kind of a great ambush, ambush design for especially bird wyverns. We just don't have good bird wyvern designs a lot of times, and Malfestio is great. It's just really such a good design because it is unique. No bird wyvern ever did that. Like, the thing is, they did Malfestio and then returned on the bird wyvern design to Ian Kutku levels. How do you do that? Mizutsuno. It's the bubble dragon. It bubbles you, and that's just kind of cool. And also attacks you with like, it's just such a good design for, a water hunter that goes onto land, because it kind of brings the water with it.
Yeah, it's like mostly confined to clear ponds. But they kind of never really do that. Like, there are some areas in certain, well, let's say bigger areas, that have not that clear water, and there's still a Mizotsune in there, and it's weird. Like, I would say, actually, based on, since we're saying concept, like ecological concept and execution of concept, I would technically subtract some points for that, but your choice.
Yeah, I generally think it's really good because, I mean, okay.
So you ignore what I'm saying, okay.
I wouldn't, I mean, you're kind of right, but also, like, it's still kind of, I think overall, the overall the overall thing of its ecology, that it's this, again, clean water. It needs clean water, which is also, just kind of very specified, but also, soap. It's soapy. It cleans things. So it's actually a positive part for the environment.
Well, I don't know if soap is that good for the environment, but okay.
Actually, pretty. Yeah. Nakakos, listen, Generations Ultimate just had a fucking run with designs. I'm very sorry for that. Nakakos is amazing.
Yeah.
First of all, it steals abilities from other Elder Dragons, because it literally hunts wyverns and Elder Dragons by being in like a deep, in a cavern connected to the deep sea. It shoots outward at the sky, so the wyverns fall into the pit, and then it grabs them and drags them underwater to eat them. And it wears their skulls as a disguise, but also to mimic their abilities.
Somehow.
It's an Elder Dragon to a degree, so yeah.
Somehow.
It probably still has their organs in them.
No, those are skulls, not...
I mean, it still eats them, so it has the organs of the Elder Dragons and wyverns.
So you think more like super sea slug abilities.
Yeah, I mean, it's also just morbid because it's a squid that holds up, 2 tentacles with wyvern skulls in it and just pretends to be a wyvern. It's just great. And we are in the nope, just very similar variants of everything. You know what? As much as it is, let's just do all of them. If you're like, oh, but Bloodbath Diablos is cool. It is, and it's horrifyingly brutal, but also, are we going to kid ourselves that it's not just basically a recolor?
It's also basically the new version of the One-Eyed Demon King.
Yes. Atal Ka. Let's just be real here. Atal Ka is outstanding. Again, Generations Ultimate just had one hell of a fucking run. Period. Why? First of all, Atal Ka is an insect. It is the final boss, and it's an insect. No insect ever has gotten this high of just like literally a commendation of you don't suck. Because every other insect sucks. This one, it's a praying mantis, and it uses silk to bind metal beams and other debris it finds together. And, it throws it at you. Like, it literally knows that it can use
tools.
It can use tools. It's a tool using insects. Hell, remember the Dragonator spears? One of the things you use in siege fight against the biggest monsters out there? They do the biggest damage. This thing picks them up and throws them back at you. It uses your weapons. And it can create a shell that's basically a gigantic fuck-off mech. It's just...
Fair.
Atal Ka is like an outstanding thing because you think insects are the weakest ones, and then suddenly there's an insect that hunts the biggest prey because it is just that strong. And that's cool. Val's trucks.
It's the jet engine dragon.
It's the fucking jet engine dragon. Like, this idea of like, oh yeah, it's an elder dragon, but it's such a simple concept for an elder dragon. It has, because the thing about elder dragons is they have separate wings from their legs. So they have 4 legs and wings. Not like the wyverns, which have, front wings and back legs. No other pair. Mm-hmm. And the simple thing is, it just created basically jet engines at the end of its tail, at the end of its wings, and it's living insanely high up where no one else can reach, and it's just a horrifying predator because it just comes faster in than any other being alive from the sky, catches you and flies away.
Or just lands on you, and then you're dead.
Yeah, you're dead either way. It's horrifying and great. I just realized one thing. Mm-hmm. We need to make another category. Mm-hmm. And we are simply titling this one.
No. That's the old.
Oh. No! And this one is black, and it is simply called... Wait. We need to make it white. And it's just no.
Why no?
Because Ancient Leshen isn't a monster from Monster Hunter. It was transported in here from The Witcher.
So otherworldly beings?
Otherworldly beings that are basically...
Then you should call it that.
Okay.
Otherworldly beings. They are from Monster Hunter. They're canon.
So they showed up there, yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, Ancient Leshen is like... It's from The Witcher. It's an interesting idea that other things fight for it. But...
Yeah, basically.
It's an alien invasion. Honestly, that is one of the more interesting things they did in World. And then they never expanded upon it. And anyway.
Maybe in Wilds.
Maybe. Eldrath.
I basically said it to you now several times non-verbally. You're fucking loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm tuning down my voice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Eldrath is kind of average.
Fire T-Rex.
It's a fire T-Rex. It's just it's a T-Rex, and it breathes fire, and it smells you out. Like, what can I say? It's kind of neat in what it does, but that's it. Basil Juice is great. Let me just put it up here. It's B-17 bomber.
Basically.
Like, it flies over you, it drops bombs, that's it.
It's not confined to any biome because it can just fly. Mm-hmm. And when it hits something, it lands, it eats.
But also, here's the thing. we actually do not know much more about it.
Yeah.
It's just a thing that shows up, and apparently just to ruin other one's days. It's a great concept, it's cool, but not much more actually. Behemoth, it's not from Monster Hunter. Dodogama. Listen, I don't think Dodogama is outstanding, but the thing is great because it's a small lizard that digs, because it literally has a jaw that helps it dig and eat. And it spits fireballs.
I think right now you're rating it just high because of the cuteness
Yeah,
factor.
fuck it, it's kind of average actually.
It's extremely cute.
It's extremely... Dodogama is the cutest thing in all of Monster Hunter, to a degree. But let's just read it. It's kind of average. I mean, it's basically a better Tetsukabra. The irony about that is that, it actually does something with the rocks it digs up and eats. But they're also a different species, so... Yeah. Great Gyros. Here's the thing.
They're the omnivores of the Rotten Vale that...
Let's just be clear here. The Great Gyros is the Gendrome of world.
Not really. Gendrum is...
No, it does that niche in terms of it has paralysis.
Oh,
But Great Gyros is a pack hunter and just kind of better designed and executed. It's just more interesting than
executed. Technically, all of the drones and yagis and stuff are pack hunters.
Yeah, but I think the Great Gyros is just a little bit more interesting because they are more integrated into the ecology of the Rotten Vale with the effluvium.
Mm-hmm.
And that just makes it more interesting. Great Jaguars.
It's a weaker Royal Dwarf without the sponge.
It's kind of bland. I mean, listen. It eats and it pukes. That's it. It's a cool monster, and it's, I think, the best introductory monster. But that's it. Duratodos. Let's just be real here. It's kind of average. It's a muddy fish. Interesting enough. Wow, mud is back.
Also, it's basically like a Mud Volganos, I think.
It's a Mud Volganos, yes.
But Volganos was in Unite.
It's on Frontier.
But the other version of it. Volganos. It's there.
I mean, Lavasiov is Volganos.
Yes, that is in Unite.
Yes, but it was introduced in Frontier, so on this list it's on Frontier down there.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's kind of average. It's a muddy fish. I think it's probably better than Plesiov. Let's just be really here. But it's a muddy fish.
A lungfish, kind of.
Yes, but not much more. Kuliyaku. Okay, Kuliyaku, despite everything, it's also just kind of average. It's kind of cool by the fact that it actually steals eggs. And it also digs up other things and holds stones as a defense. The thing is it your kind of average bird wyvern? Yes. But it's an intelligent bird wyvern and does a little bit more. So it's not just, it's big egg. Kulf Tarov. Kulf is very mediocre. Here's the thing. It's a big lizard coated in gold. There's a lot of fan art of her, and, she looks great. But, her whole thing is that she's a big elder dragon
that walks around underground.
That walks around in an underground cave where there's a lot of gold. And she uses that gold as her protection. Which is weird.
I would even call it bland at that point. There's not even an ecology to be rated.
Kulf is just... It's just an elder dragon that covers itself with the metal it finds there. The weirdest part to me is... Where's Diamond Kulf Darov? The weird part is...
That's not a metal.
Okay. I could say that, or, maybe iron or steel Kulf Darov.
Lead.
The thing is, Kulf Darov, in the case that it's such a simple thing of... It just covers itself with something. Why is there no subspecies? Moving on. Legiana. It's kind of average. It's a flying ice wyvern. Not really much to say about it. The legend is not from Monster Hunter. Negigante. Okay,
It is kind of what Rajang wants to be. What Rajang is. That other way around, yes. It wants to be what Rajang is. It has the cool spike mechanic.
It's cool. I think the spikes are probably the most interesting parts because they're kind of like...
But it's definitely below Rajang ecology.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
It's like, oh, it eats elder dragons. Never did.
Okay,
Never did once.
Okay, can we literally talk about that for a second? Never eats elder dragons. It tries to kill an elder dragon and eats it, and everyone takes that seriously. That is just 100 times the size of it for some reason, and then kill steals. I mean, it is Elder Dragon Rajang, but without an element. It's just not a lot going on there. Odogaron, it's mediocre.
The bigger cleanup crew. Also hunts lots of stuff in the Coral Highlands and drags it down to the Rotten Vale.
It's like, it's it comes out and like,
yeah,
it's so weird because Odogaron is like trying to be the Tigrex of this game, but Tigrex has more going on because like it's just a small thing that ambushes things and drags it down, and like Tigrex has like big territories and is aggressive and runs into problems, and
I never even seen them drag much shit down anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, Paolumu.
But technically we should rate what the ecology says, not what is directly in the game.
I mean, the ecology says it drags things down, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, it hunts in a Coral Highland and eats in a Rotten Vale.
Yeah.
Kind of very similar to Tigrex at that point.
It is, but Tigrex just has a different scale in terms of how it impacts ecologies because it has such a big range. Tigrex is like like Odogaron is very concentrated on one area, while Tigrex is...
Or two, but yeah.
Yeah, but Tigrex, technically like, desert, but like there's such a big area that Tigrex covers. And can also show up in jungles, as we learned later. So, yeah. Paolumu. I like Paolumu, but like... It's a floating wyvern. It's cute.
By the way... By the way, why do you have average and mediocre? Aren't those the same things?
No, average is a bit better than mediocre.
The average is the average.
Oh, yeah, what? That's
above average, really?
Let's just say it's good. See,
good. Yeah.
We're not allowed to change this one for 4 years now. It's good. They're good. It's kind of good. But that's it. Poke. Listen, Poke is good. Like, technically, this is the kind of mediocre poison bird wyvern. But in terms of ecology, because it eats nuts and stores them
to get poisons.
Get poison in the first place, it's kind of just interesting because it's a bit more. There's just a bit more to it, It's good. It's just Radoban. Okay, Radoban is great. If I rate Uragan up here, Radoban has to be there because Radoban is
a cousin.
It's a cousin. It coats it. It uses the sticky tar substance Uragans create to slam bones onto itself, and that's just it's cool. Like, is it a subspecies? Not really, but like. It's actually just a really cool idea on its own that you see this widely different adaptation of a relative species. Tobikadachi. You're gonna probably hate me for that, but Tobikadachi is kind of mediocre. It's the electric squirrel. It's cute. We absolutely adore it, don't get me wrong, but in terms of ecology,
kind of does electrostatic.
Yeah, like, correct me if you heard this before. So it's a fanged wyvern that stores static electricity in its fur, and then releases it on people onto its prey. Yeah, it's kind of just Zinogre downscaled.
It is. It is.
And it can, glide a bit.
But we don't rate in ecological impact. We haven't forgotten that, right?
Yeah, I mean, otherwise it
because
is.
I heard the same argument now 2 times, basically.
It is, but also overall, I would say it's not even an interesting type of hunter. It just sits in the forest and waits and just pounces things and stuns them. It doesn't do a lot. It's just there.
We have to have those kind of monsters, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we have to do. That's the thing. We do need some simple monsters, but like, the simplicity just kind of makes that ecology very mediocre. Tsitsiyaku. Okay, here's the thing. It's better than the other raptors, but it definitely falls into the fact of it's just the classic raptors, but it flashes you. Like, the flashing is actually a cool idea. It's actually a cool tactic, especially.
It's Gypsyros without lots of other things.
Yeah, it's that. So it's below Gypsyros, it's above them, it kind of fits perfectly there. Valhazak. Valhazak is actually pretty great. The thing is, Valhazak is just one of those things that just fits perfectly into its own ecology. And the idea that it actually controls things through the effluvium and sucks out the life energy. It's great. I like this whole, when you have stuff like Teostra being at the center of a volcano, Valhazak is at the center of a literal corpse graveyard. It's just such a good idea. And yeah. Xenojiva. Xenojiva is bland. It's big laser Elder Dragon.
Alien.
Yeah, it's alien looking, but like...
No, not alien looking. It's alien in the sense it's from out of space.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of neat.
Probably, as far as we know.
That's actually it. That's
we
Xenojiva.
don't know much about Xenojiva. Or the Jivas in general.
Yeah. It hatches, it dies. Zoramagdaros. It's a walking mountain. It's actually kind of cool as this idea of this gigantic being that leaves like just destruction in its wake.
Well, it never did leave much destruction in its wake, no?
Because it's mostly in the fucking water. Like, that's the thing. Zoramagdaros, for some reason, is being tailed by the group, but apparently mostly lives in the water, but wants to go onto land to die. What? Also, it's Lao Shanlong.
Basically, yeah.
But like...
You're screaming again, by the way.
Sorry, but like, it's Lao Shanlong, but without the whole migratory paths and such that the whole civilization has to be built around. So yeah. Acidic Lavnos, it's a subspecies. Banbaro. Let's just be real here. Banbaro is kinda mediocre.
And somehow can survive a volcano.
Yeah, for some reason the elk that rolls a snowball is an invader. I do not know why. It's never explained. I wish they explained it because that maybe made it good, but they just don't. It's just it's the big elk that runs at you. It's like it's Snowy Diablos and not even that. What the fuck is that? I can't read it. What? Bitutus? What is that?
I think I know what it is, but...
Yeah, please enlighten me. But like, we're doing a few other things like Ebony Odogaron. Oh boy, it has dragon now. Coral Puke. Oh boy. Frostfang Barrier. Oh boy. Fulgur Anjanath. There's like just a lot of ones that are just very similar. Like, sorry, Runa Negigante.
Yeah, there. Beotodus. It's the ice shark.
I totally forgot that one.
Yeah, I
literally forgot that one. This one is bland. It literally is just the ice. Okay, quite literally, this is the one I just forgot existed. I think we can slot that in bland, right?
It's not a subspecies, but it might as well be the Gyrotodos subspecies.
Is that another piskin wyvern?
I think so.
I really forgot that one.
Yeah.
Holy shit! They made a frost piskin wyvern, and I just literally forgot the thing. Yeah, right. There was one. It just really shows up in the I forgot category. I mean, that is bland, I suppose, but yeah, Claire, I really forgot that monster existed. Are there even fans of the thing? I don't know. I'm just so shocked.
If you made it smaller and a pack hunter, I would be on board.
Yeah. Okay,
Namiel makes absolutely no sense.
It's okay, here's the thing. It's good.
No, it's not.
Okay, are you going to beef me over Namiel? Okay, where would you rate Namiel?
I would put it in bland for one reason.
Okay.
It's a deep sea dragon that just showed up.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing.
That's my argument. Your tier list still, so do what you want.
Yeah, I think
My argument is just because it's a fucking graveyard doesn't give you the right to put in deep sea elder dragons and make them weird. It's like, oh, it's a deep sea elder dragon. Yeah, it can produce and control water. Why would it be able to produce water if it lives in the sea? What purpose does that have? Yeah, that's the thing. Here's the thing. Overall, I would say Namiel is a great idea for an elder dragon because usually and this is why I will totally add to your caveat. Namiel is a great idea, as in, we know elder dragons live everywhere, and Namiel is an elder dragon that... Alatrium lives at the bottom of the ocean sometimes.
Yeah, and Namiel just does too, and that's great. I love this idea. The thing is just, as Agonia points out, why is Namiel in the Coral Highlands?
Except Uud goes there to die. Again.
I guess, but also like it's so weird because it's in the Coral Highlands, which is designed after the deep sea, like the sea, the coral parts, and even the deep sea, but the coral parts. The deep sea area is actually in Wales. Spoiler. I mean, it's the Orwell Basin. The designers literally said it's designed to be. It's designed after underground volcanoes, and while they're not erupting, it has like a blue hue to give you, this calm, deep sea feeling. But yeah, Namiel is a great idea. Just what the fuck is she doing in the ice region? I know it's also kind of water themed, but the Coral Highlands are the ice region. It's where the ice and wind monsters are. Not the water ones. The water ones are in the fucking desert again. I mean, okay, you know what? I see myself out. Monster Hunter is weird. Anyway, great concept. Just with the caveat, why is it here? It should be on, forest beaches. On the ancient forest beach.
Yeah.
Somewhere like that. Not there. Safijiva. We need to bring this one up because Safijiva is great. Actually, it really is just great. Like, here's the thing. In terms of its ecology, it's kind of cool to think that Safijiva is the thing that came out of Xenojiva and probably would evolve into something else, and that Alatreon has beef with it. Which is like, Alatreon, the thing that lives so far away from,
everything.
From everything. As if it's an unstable dragon that only sometimes gets put on a list, But again, elder dragons are intelligent. And it could very well be that that Alatreons are intelligent and protect humans by not living near them. They live in so remote regions that you could almost be like, you're like one of the most destructive elder dragon out there. Barely any dragon would stop you besides Fatalis. Like, Alatreon is like, in terms of the power ranking in how they are released in world,
Pretty high.
literally just one step below Fatalis. And for some reason, that thing literally seeked out the place where Safi Jiva cocoons are. That's cool. That is like really cool in terms of ecologic, connections between both of them. Just like, wow. What could this thing be? Oh, but also right now, Safi Jiva is just a red dragon. I mean,
A big red dragon.
it's a big red dragon. Shara Ishvalda. Okay, listen. Shara Ishvalda, I know I've been hard. It seems I may be hard on the world models, but that's outstanding. Why? First of all, it fucking creates sand with sound waves. That's amazing. Second of all,
Specifically, it turns rocks into
Yeah.
sand.
it even clads itself in rock that it loses later on. And it's just also just on a side note, it's creepy as fuck. Like this thing, mythos wise in that world, apparently created mountains.
Or the land
Or
itself.
the land itself. It literally raised the land itself from the water.
Or its ancestors.
Or
Who
its
knows?
ancestors. Who knows? There was the whole thing about, this, if you missed it in the world, there was this whole backstory about the elder dragons that formed the land, and, somewhere just, pointed towards that maybe it's that, but Shara Ishvalda is the only one that really gets properly nailed down towards that thing created the earth and mountains. That's just hands down cool. And and also it looks at you. Well, actually not. So this is just a neat detail about Shara Ishvalda. It's not animated to look directly at the player camera. It just looks like that because its eyes are concave in a very specific way. So it will always seem like it looks at you. It's an optical illusion.
Which is probably easier than program eye tracking for every player camera.
I mean, yes, but also it's just kind of great that because it would even make sense in terms of, just ecology. Like, yeah. If you can fucking mimic that you're always looking at someone and it's just an optical illusion, go for it. That's amazing. Shara Ishvalda. Outstanding. No questions. Yeah. Two similar subspecies. Velcana. Okay, listen. Velcana is kind of bland. I mean, I know I'm going to get so much hate right now because people love Velcana, and what? Great design, great music, great fight, great armor set. Velcana itself is just really fucking bland. Like, oh boy, it's an elder dragon that produces ice. Because it has an organ that basically creates liquid nitrogen and that pumps it out. Do you know how many monsters we had up until this point that just threw ice around them?
Gamov did it before then.
What?
Gamov clad itself in ice technically before.
Yeah, it threw snow around. I mean, it didn't really create it itself, so maybe we can give it some points for that. But like, let's just be real here. Velcana is just Kushala Daora with ice.
But less wind.
Yes. The thing is, Kushala Daora was like a lot of interesting concept at once, Velcana is just, it's the same rig, but it just has ice. I mean, we can all agree on that it's just ice. Like, that's it. It's still a cool design and all that, but from its whole ecology and everything, it's just ice. Oh boy. Whoop. Nothing really interesting here. Hey, we are at Rise. How about that? Rise really had a bunch of new stuff. But first of all, we are going to eat out the Apex ones, because who cares about the Apex ones? No one cares about the Apex ones. Yeah. Oh, but I care about the Apex ones. No, you don't.
Crimson Wallstrux is technically also just a subspecies.
It is just a subspecies. Yes. Okay. Now that we have them out, Agnosom. Let's just be real here. Agnosom is actually more in this range.
Yeah.
They kind of started making really solid beginner monsters, honestly. Like, we came a long way from, it's the bear. This is a crane, but also, it has a bit of a fighting style to it and spits fire, and that's cool. I mean, also, it's basically that one yokai that's just an umbrella, but yeah, it's it's cool. Almudron. Okay, again, the mud fetish is coming out. It's just good. Like, it's a Leviathan.
Where does it live? Except in this one really small area that's not even 20 meters diameter, because it for some reason can swim through earth. Not through mud, through earth.
Okay, yeah, I think we need to talk about the fact that Almudron and Gyratodos in at least Rise are supposed to mostly live in the flooded forest. And there they make sense, because the flooded forest there is just muddy water. And again, I can't really do a lot here because it's just a slinky mud noodle. Again, who the fuck let the mud fetishists out? And then, they also put them in the plains, but never expanded on the mud area. If they had more mud areas to swim around in, I'd be down. But it's just puddles. So what the fuck? I think we need to have the caveat of why the fuck is this possible. Except for, gameplay reasons. They just put them there because there was also mud.
Well, at least with Gyratodos, you could argue there's a swamp where you don't have access to, but Gyratodos probably can.
Yeah. At least in, World it makes sense because there was, actually more mud area.
I literally said that right now.
Okay. Yes, true. But I wanted to say the sandy plains in Rise, they just have small mud puddles, so they both don't make sense there. But a lot of stuff doesn't make sense in Rise. Bishatten, yes. Bishatten it's good. I mean, I can't really say it's a monkey that throws shit at you.
Well, that's also Kekawaka.
It's also Catcher-Watcher, but again, it's an intelligent monkey.
Is it above or below Catcher-Watcher?
I think a little bit more. Because it's a bit more aggressive and it, actually mixes up what it uses against you. Like, it actually uses projectiles
and can be
intelligently. Yes. Mm-hmm. So, it's good. Gossarak. It's kind of mediocre. Like, here's the thing. It's Arturos, but it can freeze its arm.
But only because it's basically ice oni.
Yeah, it's a blue ice oni, and wow. Great Izuchi. It's mediocre. Listen.
Ooh, it's the first one that gets up.
I know.
Second.
It's the raptor, but the fact that it actually uses its tail, like a blade/sickle, makes it a lot more interesting and smarter than the other ones. It's just a bit more.
So, because it copies Glavenus, it's better.
I mean, yes, especially for a small monster, it does. But also, it uses that together in a pack tactic. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
It's fair. Magna Malo. Okay,
It's a thing that comes around every 50 years and has hunger.
yeah. listen, I don't want to hate on Magna Malo. I love the fight. Its whole story is it just shows up and eats. Like, what can I say about the thing? Again, I love the fight. I love I love the weapons, and I love the theme. But like, it just comes. Yeah, the design, like, it's fine. It's just it's as if they wanted to just have like this hellish dog, and then they just didn't know what to do with it.
It's mostly based on the one mask, and from Japan.
Yeah,
and the rest is designed around that.
That's it. So like, it's fine, but that's that. Nava the Almova. Okay. Listen, I'm going to make a hot take. The fight sucks, but it's just kind of mediocre.
Oh, that's higher than I would expect.
I know. But like, here's the thing.
It's a rip-off Shantian.
First of all, it's a rip-off Shantian. We're going to go over that, but let's just do the same thing, because the other two, I need to pick them up, kind of go into the same category.
But Nava the Almova is Nava but pregnant.
Yes. It's the incel dragons. It's the incel and the femcel dragon. Yes. Here's the thing. They all are just like... Here's the thing.
They're simultaneously the most intelligent / talkative and stupidest elder dragon we ever met.
Yes, they're stupid. Thing is, it has a few bonus points I can give it that, are just not really that well executed, but they're still there. First of all, dimorphism. They're two different ones, and,
Or they're different coloration.
One
is an exec, I guess.
One is Ibushi, one is Nava, and they have...
That's not dimorphism. That's different names.
From what I know, the Ibushi uses wind and Nava uses thunder. They're basically...
yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So, yes, they're kind of like Teostra, Lunastra, Rathian again. And they do drive the local ecology, yes. Because their mating ritual is just being stupid. I hate them. And they're bland because they're just like floating wind Leviathan and floating electric Leviathan. And listen, as much as I want to rate monsters on their own, I cannot go after the fact of, you've done those already multiple times. Like, the irony is, there's a Matsu in the game. And Amatsu makes more sense than Wind Serpent Ibushi. It's just worse Amatsu. Like, what the fuck? Again, they have a few neat aspects, responsible for the rampage. They have dimorphism, and Nava the Almova is kind of like, it's a pregnant version and just kind of combines the both. It's neat. I can't really... They just do a little bit more to go above, being just bland. But I hate them. Ragnakadaki. Ragnakadaki is actually great. What can I say? It's another spider. Yay. But also, what makes it great in terms of compared to Nesrilla is a solitary hunter hunting Gypsaros. Ragnakadaki is a big spider that actually dominates its area. Cool. But also has its brood on its back and protects them. I mean, it's great design, but also...
It protects itself with silk as well.
It protects itself with the silk. It actually protects and raises the brood. It's just a cool idea that we don't have a lot of monsters that actively, show they care for their young. Mm-hmm. And it's just great ecology. Ragnakadaki is great. Can't say much more. Somnakant. Okay, listen.
I like it more than Armodron because at least that thing makes sense how it moves through the world, even though it does it on its back. It's kind of like a Leviathan otter.
It is. But also, it really is just kind of like, the early sleep monster.
I'm just saying it's better
not
than.
bad.
I'm saying it's better than Almudron. I'm not saying it's good.
It's good. I kind of want to put it down in mediocre. Let's just be really here.
Then I have to petition you to put Almudron down with it.
Fair point, but like I shouldn't put it down there because no, Sonderkampf is a cool idea and it has a lot of stuff going for it. It's just the fight is so boring.
I'm not rating the fight at all.
Sonderkampf actually has like a few neat things going on because again it flows.
I'm just saying part of the game is also showing us how the world looks, and Sonderkampf makes more sense than Almudron.
Yeah, and that's good. I would actually put it there. It kind of fits there. Now. Tetranodon. Let's just be real. Tetranodon is good. And I would put them in front of them because...
Okay. Why is it better than Jagras? Because it's basically Jagras.
First of all, it does more than Jagras. It also has water. It hides itself. It's actually more a bit of an ambush thing.
It ambushes people?
Do you think I should put Tetranodon in mediocre?
I don't know.
I mean...
I'm just saying there isn't much difference between the Great Jagras, because the Great Jagras also has water because it pukes it, partially. Tetranodon, I don't... Is there much ecology about Tetranodon?
Not really. It's a kappa.
Yeah,
I would probably... You know what? I really put it more here. It's like... It's not much. I like it. But now that I think about it, there's much going on. I was like, it had more going on, right? And I just think about it, like, no, it actually doesn't. Like, wow. My bias decided to just add something to the monster that doesn't exist.
But then again, it tells you that the monster has potential.
Yes, so that's a thing, and I think that's good. Okay, Sunbreak. Aurora Sonderkampf. Like, it's the ice version. Blood Orange, nope. Let's just get all of them out of the way.
Magma Almudron.
Where's that?
You already passed.
Oh yeah, Magma Almudron. Okay, it exchanged mud for magma.
Primordial, that's fine.
Yeah.
Pyracnacadai, yes.
No. The risen ones are just... It's like, oh cool. What are we going to do here? Violet Mizuzuna. Risen Teostra. The risen ones really... Anyway. Gasmagorm. Honestly... Listen, Gasmagorm is kind of terrifying, but also it's just kind of mediocre. It's just a big thing underground with no legs. It skipped leg day. That's it. That's Gasmagorm. It just skipped leg day. Like, I'm sorry. It's really... Let's just put it like this. It kind of falls into the same trap as Cadeus, but like it's kind of more interesting because it actually destroyed something, and you can see how it's like this subterranean monster that rises up and actually swallows things. It does more than Cadeus, but like the whole story is the same. Oh no, something destroyed things. What could it be? We're pinning it on this one monster that doesn't make any fucking sense. Okay, it makes a little more sense than Lagiacross, but we're pinning it on that one monster, and you're like, it's not that monster. Obviously not. And you're like, I mean, I'd say the idea of it being like, having these vampire bats things that suck life, interesting. Just also, why are they there on an underground being?
Well, because they're bats, but then again, when we fight them, they're not really there. They're not doing much.
Yeah. Okay, Garon Golem. Here's the thing. I do want to put it into mediocre, because it's big monkey.
Fire, water, and ice monkey, yeah.
But it kind of gets lifted up there because... Yeah, I mean... Okay, let's just be real here. Why does it have multiple things on its arm? It's just...
Per arm.
Per arm. it's weird. If this was like randomized, like, everyone, every Garen Golem had like different things growing on it, it would be more interesting because that would make it just.
It also has like fluid that grows plants.
Yeah. It's just kind of weird. It's standing in for. It is a stand-in for Frankenstein, yeah, if we're honest, because this one, went a bit into, horror. But, yeah. It's just kind of that. I don't really think Garen Golem is, like, particularly interesting in that sense.
Ecology-wise, there isn't much it does.
Yep. Luna Garon. Okay, it's also just kind of mediocre. Like, I mean, it's a wolf that does ice. Like, oh wow, you upgraded Odogaron.
Yeah, or low-graded Velcana.
And maybe I will already say Velcana is kind of mediocre because it's, just ice.
Well, it has a second form where it's more werewolf. That's what it's based on.
I don't want to hate it too much on it, but like, it just stands on its
But
back
that's
then.
more concept, not really ecology.
Yeah. So, yeah. Malzeno, though. Okay, here's the thing. Malzeno? It's just kind of great, okay?
Yeah, it's Dracula. Great.
It's Dracula. Like, here's the thing. I wish it was outstanding, but like, I love the fight. I love
Fight is not relevant, but yes.
I love a lot about it, but like ecology-wise, it's a territorial elder dragon that defended its territory and got infected by, the blood-sucking vampire. It got turned into a vampire from, it was once noble and then became a vampire.
Even then, it didn't attack anything.
Yeah, it was just neat, but also, I mean.
It's a peaceful monster, technically.
It's a peaceful monster. It's just kind of like, it's kind of a mirror to Gore Magala to a degree. Just, I mean, they literally say that the Curio things have a virus that is related to the frenzy virus of Gore Magala.
Fair.
Which is, it's kind of neat to point out that there's a variant of a virus, but like. Yeah, it doesn't do a lot more. It's just a territorial elder dragon that's not really that.
Well, not that territorial, because it only fights other elder dragons. It doesn't fight humans.
I mean, yeah, it's territorial for elder dragons and just protects this area.
In that sense, I would say it's more unique.
It's more unique because like it's a great one because it's. We're nearing the whole more benevolent one, and I would say. Primordial Malzeno it's just kind of too similar. Like, the idea that it's, uncorrupted is cool until it gets corrupted. Like, listen, Primordial Malzeno starts without the Curios. It just attacks you normally, and it's a great fight. And then the Curios take over anyway, and it becomes basically just a pumped-up Malzeno fight.
Which is weird.
It's just...
Should be the other way around, if anything.
Yeah, Primordial Malzeno is like kind of neat that it's there, but yeah, it's kind of it's an interesting idea, but it has really nothing to do with ecology. When we're honest,
Well, it's technically life ecology.
Yeah, but like, I just kind of wish Primordial Malzeno was like actually uncorrupted all the time, because then it would actually be more than just Malzeno. Right now, it's just very similar subspecies. A cool one. Don't get me wrong, but it's just very, very similar.
Now we're at Frontier.
God damn it, this one is gonna be fun. Do we want to just go over this one right now? This is just the main series. And we kind of wanted to do only the main series, but fuck it, I guess. Amirugu. Here's the thing. I wish I could do this in like a different table.
You could
You know.
just need to add a few more tiers.
You know what? Fair point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. And we go from red, yellow. Yeah, just do this one.
Grand tier.
Grand tier.
Monster Hunter Grand tier with the Grand tier rank.
For tier 2 similar. And now we do the we do this. And we do this. We do this. And we do
It's already there.
yeah, and wait a sec, we're doing purple and mediocre was green. This one can be yellow. Okay. Abirugo.
It's the Proto-Glavenus, but as a pack hunter.
Yeah, so that's actually kind of a good thing.
Specifically, they hunt in pairs.
Outstanding, great, good, mediocre. Outstanding, great, good, mediocre. Oh, wait. I need to You're completely right. And one
Yeah, that's...
add a row below, and this one actually gets wait a second.
No, that is correct.
This one is green, and this one is a more slighter green. This one gets, you know, wow, we're going over there, but that's good because the pack hunting makes it, you know, kind of interesting. Akura Bai actually came before Vashimu when I think, right?
Not sure.
Vashimu's everywhere, so let's do Vashimu, okay? Vashimu's great. Like, it's a scorpion in the desert that hunts things by firing a fluid at it that hardens when getting in contact with air. That
Also explodes sometimes.
What? Sometimes, yes, but those exist. That's just a neat idea, and it actually makes it a really...
But it's also, as you can think from what you described, an ambush hunter, because it also kind of can hide behind the sand and just drag you down.
Yes. Akura Jabai. It's too similar. It's just kind of the same. Let's just be really...
It has different moves and stuff, but ecology-wise, they don't have much difference.
Yeah.
Anorupatisu.
It's great. Like, it's an, you know, here's the thing. It's an ice shark hunter, so it actually is in the water, and it, you know, comes out of the water in ice regions. So it just does more than just being ice. Arrogant Duru, that's just too similar. That's a subspecies. Arrogant Duremudra.
Yeah, you didn't have that yet, but
Yes, the Duremudra.
yeah.
That one is in the tower, I think, right?
It's the guardian of the tower, of the sky corridor specifically.
Let's just be real here. It's kind of cool, but I wouldn't put it higher than good. It's just like, it's an elder dragon, and it guards things, and it's strong, and that's just kind of where it ends.
It has frost and poison, yeah. Not much is known about it, so we can't do much with ecology.
Yeah, you know, Babu Ragaru, that one's great. It's a leviathan that sucks blood, and depending on what it sucks and hunts, it can actually store the blood abilities and puke them back at its prey. Cool. also, it actually comes from deep sea oceans and is an invasive species that destroys marshlands.
General ocean, but yeah.
General ocean.
If there are no strong species in a swamp, they go there because there's nothing that can hunt them and fill the niche.
Yeah. Arugaroku. What is that one?
We need to Google it for you.
By the way, Berserk Graviente, sorry, I just put that one in there. Blinking Nagakuga, yes.
So, which are you searching for?
Arugaroku. There.
Garnosu.
Aruganosu. Oh, those. Okay.
They make ecology-wise not much sense.
Yeah, so,
they're kind of something like gods/spirits.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. We need to make a role for those a little bit, its own role, because if we had otherworldly beings, I think we can actually add for Frontier just what? Because, here's the thing. How's the counterpart called?
Let me look it up.
Gorugamosu, I think. Arugamosu and Gorugamosu.
Could be.
Basically, you take Lavasioth and make it silver and gold. They just show up at the top of the tower. They Piskin Wyvern. They fight on the tower.
One has ice and paralysis, and the other has thunder and sleep.
And they just fight.
They fight each other, and if one dies, they will revive the other.
Yeah,
but if one dies, the other revives them.
Yeah, but also, they attack you in perfect harmony, but then also take cheap shots at each other. But also, what the fuck are they?
That's why I'm saying they're more like Japanese spirits or something.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing, but yeah, Berukirosu. That one is great. It's an intelligent wyvern that has long appendages on its wings. By the way, that's the same rig that how's it called? Arcveld uses, and they use it to precisely control electricity. But also, they're so intelligent that they actually adapt to the things that attack them. They're great. It's just a great idea of for a flying wyvern. Bogu. Okay, Bogudarumu. It's big explosive ones. Let's just be real here. This one's good, but not much more. Bogudarumu. Can you search that one? That's there.
You know it.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's a gigantic flying wyvern.
It's a wyvern, not a flying wyvern.
Yeah.
Old categorization. It's
a big hunter that also
fat and flabby.
It's fat and flabby. It exhausts explosive gas, which makes it kind of a terrifying hunter, if we're honest. Breeding season Hypnocatrice. I mean, it's horny Hypno. Let's just not say.
Gravios also got special treatment here.
Yes, but Diablos actually does a lot more. It's a lot more interesting stuff of it. Right. Burning, freezing, Ezelion.
Ecology-wise, not much going on.
It's not Ezelion even. That's the subspecies.
I know.
Deorex. I like the fight. It's kind of bland.
It's a Tigrex that learned magnetism somehow, and has an iron or ore shell.
Yeah, you will definitely see a lot of those that go into one of the. It's a good fight, but it's just a Tigrex. Okay, Disophiroa.
It lives at World's End.
Actually, that's really cool. But let's just... Okay, here's the thing.
It is basically either an ancestor or they share an ancestor with Alatreon. That's what's known. And they live at World's End and basically keep to themselves.
It's kind of cool what they do, but they really are just, it's a bit mediocre in its ecology.
Okay, Alatreon isn't much more.
I think the more interesting part is that Alatreon is like unstable and, you know, like basically the thing is more of Alatreon is unstable and you don't know if the fiery place it lives in is, you know, something it seeks or it creates. This one is just...
Lisa Furore is technically probably the strongest Elder Dragon lore-wise.
Probably, but yeah, Oh yeah, Dora Girosu. I mean, it's... Let's just be real here. Dora Girosu is too similar. It's, I mean, correct me if you heard it before. You had an electric monster, and now it has a variant that has dragon elements. I don't want to shit on it too much, because it literally is just the same monster but with dragon, and a different name.
That's fair.
Diorauga. Actually, that's a good one. I mean, I would rank that one higher, but because it's basically an interesting variant on Barioth. You know, it's the same type of wyvern. It's just a weird coloration, honestly.
That's small Tigrex, actually.
It's a small Tigrex, yes. So it's more aggressive than Barioth in that sense.
It's ice themed, but actually it uses cold and sleep.
Yeah, it uses sleep, but the thing is, it doesn't really use ice. It freezes itself. So there's an ice, coating.
But that's more a side effect.
But yeah, it just freezes things. And actually, it's kind of interesting because it makes you use hot drinks to unfreeze. So, yeah.
No, the coldness. But we're not rating fights, remember?
Sorry, yeah. It's kind of interesting that it more, lowers temperature than just creating ice. Which is just actually kind of interesting. Ezelion, okay.
Ecology-wise, there is nothing.
You know what? It's what?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Here's the thing. I don't think the concept of Ezelion is bad, because as I said earlier in the stream, Jindahar seems to be literally Ezelion. It uses ice, it uses fire.
Uses both.
It uses both. But, it's a bit more, sensibly designed with the whole heat sink principle.
Aesthetic more.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Ezelion is just, it's split down the middle, and it just switches between the two elements.
It doesn't.
It just uses them both, just at the same time. It's like, what the fuck? This is like, yeah, Frontier has a few what ones, but it also has a few good ones. Espinas,
Sleeping King of the Forest.
Okay. I really fucking think it's great. Like, here's the thing. Espinas is kind of the next level of Rathalos and Rathia. It is poisonous, it is extremely durable, and the thing is, it lives inside of the forests, and it ignores most things, because it is so durable and strong, it doesn't actually need to care. Like, you need to bother it for it to wake up. And then you need to bother it more for it to be like, okay, fuck you. But then it's furious and ruins your day. That's just fantastic. I love that there's so much character in this one monster because it just ignores you until you make yourself a problem.
Subspecies.
It's just too similar. Faru Koku. That one is great. As I said before, it is similar to Hypnocrates, but it's actually very different because it, creates static electricity by dancing. That's actually a great concept. Like, here's the thing. There are a lot of, we have a bunch of monsters that in the series that do static electricity, because it's kind of a shorthand to, get electricity generated. But there's the difference between something like Tigrex that lives in, that lives in harmony, in symbiosis with monsters that create it and store it, and Tubikadachi that just does it. Like, the thing is, Tubikadachi, they say, oh yeah, it generates static electricity with its fur. But never really does things aside from, I guess it just passively does it. Meanwhile, Furukuku is literally dancing and, actually creating friction.
I still have to give Disophorua some addition. Like the weaker Disophoruas, if you kill them, they freeze themselves. Literally in a sense of fuck you.
Yeah, okay, that's actually kind of cool.
Meanwhile, the stronger ones break out of the ice in the sense of they're playing dead. And attack you and then go into a new phase and stuff. I don't know how to evaluate that, but I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, Flaming Espinas, it's a subspecies. Yeah. Furukuku, actually great. Wow, honestly, Frontier is coming out swinging with bird wyverns because Furukuku is literally the Alatreon of status effects.
Giant colibri, basically.
It's a giant colibri that, collects nectar from the, one area you saw and dispenses it as status effects. It can have all status effects. It's great, and they should bring it actually into the main series. This is first of all, we need more big bird wyverns. We don't have a lot of big bird wyverns actually in the main series. None of them. This is a big bird wyvern. Where are our big bird wyverns? It's just great, and I love it. Nothing to say about that. Garuba da Ora. What? I mean, it controls diamond dust? What? Like...
Oh, come on. If you can control wind and produce water, you can't be icky with diamond dust, okay?
It's just, where does it come from?
It generally is more of a sky dweller.
Which makes it less sense because gold is in the ground, but still...
Who knows? Maybe that's where gold is coming from. But yeah. I give you, ecology-wise, there isn't much going on. We don't know much about it. And if, then it's probably in Japanese and we don't know.
Yeah. Gazura Bazura. Actually good. I mean, it's simple. It actually has some cool things going on because it's like, it was a water dweller, but the ocean it lived in... Hey, Livingston. The ocean it lived in dried out, and now it lives in deserts. And
it adapted over
and it adapted, so they have like big... the interesting thing is they can actually pump blood into their front legs to make them bigger and better at digging, which is kind of cool.
They create sand traps for prey and use poison probably as some leftover from when they lived in water.
It's simple, but it's good.
Also, it's a wrestler.
Okay. Literally, it fucking makes a mountain out of sand and jumps onto you. It's just like... It's a fucking wrestler. But it's okay.
That's not ecology.
Gyarugu. It's... Okay, actually, this one is good, but better than Abirugu.
Oh, the subspecies is better.
Here's the thing. It does a lot of things more unique. First of all, yes, it's not a
because it's solitary again.
But... the fact that it actually uses ice to basically make itself a blade on its tail, which it did before Glavenus, by the way.
Before Glavenus.
Yeah. Thing is, Abirugu kind of swings around the tail like a mace. That's it.
No.
I mean, it's more like, it just has a big tail. It doesn't use it like a sword.
It's more like a crude sword.
More like
anything.
More like something crude, but yeah.
Because Gyarugu makes basically a bladed club.
Yeah. Which is kind of interesting because, it does more with it, It does more.
It's not a skilled swordsman, so to speak. or sort of fighter. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Gogo Moore. This one is gonna be a hot take, but it's outstanding.
It's a spider monkey.
First of all, spider monkey. Second of all, it only becomes a problem when it has young. And the young it carries on its back even while fighting. And if you kill the young monkey, it is permanently enraged. But also, the young monkey fucking taunts you all the time. It's just a little shit that wants to die. I cannot hate on this thing. This is like just the best idea of a monkey because it just wants you to hate it, and it's great. Okay, you know what? Let's do this one first. I love it. It's basically the origin species of Gravios, and it's a jet engine. It uses water in it that it stores in its body to, and the pressure it builds up with it to catapult itself forward and to the side.
So diamond dust and gold is too much, but having nearly infinite water inside yourself to use as a jet engine.
No. Here's the thing. This one has like a more interesting ecology because it actually feels like. Here's the thing. It's a being that obviously died out because it has such a huge demand of water, and also it's an over-adapted species that died out. That's a great design.
I wouldn't say even over-adapted. It's more like
resource heavy.
Stepping stone. It's like the Gravios came out of the water and then became actual Gravios.
Yeah, but also Garuba da Ora is just, we don't know a lot about it.
I know. What? Fair.
Yeah. Guzan. Okay, you know what?
Before you rate anything.
This one we do. I know though. It's great because it's a flying wyvern that is actually big and tackles things, but also it's kind of like the nice Diablos because it actually is. It's a plant eater. It's not carnivorous. So, but it actually only attacks carnivorous beings entering its area. So it actually protects a lot of herbivores in the world, and that's cool. That's just great ecology. That's like, hey, give me more of that. I like the idea of a protector species. Can I look at which one it is? Oh, it's that one.
That's that one. It is pretty similar to Fatalis in some regards.
Mm-hmm.
Because it killed the kingdom. Destroyed the kingdom.
Yeah, it's kind of...
But, no, you stop with your stuff here.
Yeah.
But it's literally a ruler. It rules over the wyverns in this place and commands them. It's also known for being pretty arrogant because if you hit it enough, it will just basically say, fuck off you all, you're not useful for anything, and eats some of them.
I mean, here's the thing. It's kind of mediocre still. It's not bad.
I have to say, ecology-wise, okay?
Yeah.
It's not different from Fatalis. In Fatalis, you have it one, basically.
The thing is, Fatalis is an outstanding intro to everything.
It's not really an intro, but okay.
I mean, also, it's the thing is, Fatalis is a silent calamity that reproduces, by literally grafting itself onto humans and transforming them into.
That's just a story. That was never confirmed.
It kind of was confirmed.
No.
Okay.
No.
But also, it's
not okay.
It's a silent calamity that just shows up and destroys things. This one is, I mean, it's an arrogant ruler. It's like,
yes,
okay.
It showed up, destroyed the kingdom. Same with Fatalis.
Here's the thing. I think the silent catastrophe is more interesting.
I don't think Fatalis is silent at all. I don't know where you get that from.
As in, it doesn't speak. It just shows up and destroys everything.
No Elder Dragon speaks.
Okay, let me put it like this. It shows up, it destroys everything, and nothing in its vicinity lives there anymore. It just fled.
It's a unique variant then.
But there are things living near it.
It destroyed the kingdom, specifically the humans, not the animals. like other animals in that case.
I mean, okay, I guess we can tell it.
I'm just saying it sounds a bit like special pleading here.
I mean, you could say it's just kind of a more boring take on it, I would say.
That's subjective.
Maybe, but...
You wanted to rate on uniqueness, not on what you find boring or not.
In terms of uniqueness, it's like, I mean, it is good, but like, it's not a fatalis thing.
Uniqueness.
Okay, Harudo Gimo. This one is great.
I mean, ecology-wise, there's not much known about it, so I don't know why you even put it up there.
Yeah, fair.
According to your statistics and using beforehand, I would say what? Yes.
Really? I thought there was more about it. You know what? It's 1:30 here, and my brain is suddenly like, hey, you've been at this for a while. What the fuck? I hope you all have fun, though. It's gonna be the hashtag content.
Yeah, so it controls liquid metal.
We don't know much more about it.
Not really. It's called a silver dragon, but it's probably, I don't know if Quicksilver. I guess Quicksilver it is. It's known to be intelligent. Like it can mimic stuff. Battle-wise,
I guess
because it can make lots of weapons, but ecology-wise, there isn't much known about it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you know what? Let's go to the next one. Hypno. Yeah, it definitely fits here well. Hypno is good. I would say when we talk about bird wyverns, they just had a run with it. Like, Hypno is a very basic one. It's like, the original bird wyvern in the game. But it has a good design. In general, I like the idea that it's an ambush hunter that puts its prey to sleep. It's very simple, but yeah, it's not great, but it's good. It's good. Hyujikiki is actually great. Why? First of all, I generally like Tigrex variants and Naga variants, but I like the Hyujikiki is kind of what Nergigante wants to be. It's mobile. It throws spikes at you that it grows rapidly, like Nergigante.
Very aggressive.
It's very aggressive, but also it coats them in status effects. So it's actually quite a menace. And it's just kind of it's a very cool hunter with that. Inagami, what? It kind of sits in a bamboo forest and plants bamboo.
But Garangolm also grows plants with its sap. So that's not much different. So if you don't put Garangolm in what?
We don't really have what here, though. So like,
then you have to make it. But it's even better than Garangolm in a sense because Garangolm has several abilities at once because it's based on Frankenstein. But ecology-wise, it doesn't make much sense. Inagami does. Inagami is the reason we have bamboo forests.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
Here's the thing. Garangolm, the plants that grow on it grow very, very slowly. It's just a secretion thing. That's
great.
That's okay.
An elder dragon that controls wind is the same kind of bullshit. Sorry.
Okay, you know what?
Either you put Garangolm down or you put Inagami up. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense.
You know what? Fair point. You get it.
Why do you change?
Fuck. I always try to say that to the next row, but you know what?
You can't.
You get what? Because fair point. What is this actually? It's monkey.
That's not a fair point. I literally said one or the other.
Yeah,
I personally don't agree with what for both. But
okay. I would still say Inagami because we don't really know a lot about it. It's just...
That has nothing to do with we don't know much about it.
Its whole ecology is it grows bamboo. Like, that's it. It literally just grows bamboo. There's not much about it.
It's a gardener, okay?
It's one of those, oh yeah, they had a concept and really didn't think much more about it. Okay, Kawo Orogaron. It's just to say, it's a bit mediocre. It's a wolf.
Camu and Nono
Kind of go together,
Yeah.
but like the thing about them is
Nono.
where is it? My eyes. I can see tears. No. But they're still just kind of wolves. They're kind of cool because they work together and they're cute, but like they're just two wolves that sound like TIE fighters. I'm not kidding. They do.
I mean, they're literally like sound wolves.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
They both use eyes. They hunt together.
Yeah.
So they're basically the basic fanged beasts. So they're kind of similar to Rathalos and Radian, actually.
To a degree, but
Not as good, but...
It's just also... They're just also that. Not much. Oh yeah, next one. What? It's just... It's a big thing that shows up because it hates a woman singing.
Most things actually come because they hate the woman singing.
You know what?
Camellios included.
Why does everyone hate the diva?
Well, we don't know if they hate the diva or if they're just attracted to the diva or what's going on because it's supernatural shit. And we don't know much about it.
It just showed up because woman was singing.
And you haven't played the story, so you don't know.
I read about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but like, it's like, what? What is the thing? It's just a big thing with fire. That's kind of it.
Fair.
Kura seppuku. This one is great. Because, as a Leviathan, it actually doesn't have an element. But it redirects sunlight or electricity with the crystals on its body to have both fire and thunder. It's just a great design. Also, there are pack hunters that can work together.
They're not directly pack hunters,
But if they meet, they work together.
Yes.
So it's...
They even have a combined attack in the desert.
Yes. So, good one. I like it. Lavaziv. This one's good. Like, it's the lava fish.
Subspecies.
Too similar. Lavienta. That one is good. It's kind of a cool ecology, but also...
Technically, it's Raviente, but...
Ravienta, it's very big snake that when it wakes up destroys everything in its path because it's so gigantic and it needs to be hunted down.
Well, it's hungry. That's the main part, because most of the time it sleeps near undersea volcanoes.
Yes.
Actually.
So neat.
And it's mostly lives in an island chain, far out. So it's not often a problem, but it can be.
Yeah. Go Garths. They are actually... they're good.
Yeah, technically the normal Gaugarth is blue. The red one is a mutation, and if a red one exists, they team up with a blue one and wreak havoc.
Yes. Meraginasu. This one is... it's kind of cool.
If we're talking about ecology, I would put it at outstanding.
Okay. Now you have to explain yourself.
Well, the fight makes no sense, okay? Because the fight could never really show how it's supposed to be, ecology-wise. Because it's a cave dweller.
Yes.
So, it lives in total darkness. It has super echolocation. Can burrow. That's why it lives in caves. Okay. It's completely black and has those yellow highlights. That is probably the only thing you mostly see if it's far away from you and you go around with a torch or something.
Yes.
And that's where you would actually fight it. In that sense, perfect concept and good execution. But in the actual game, you just fight it somewhere. And if you put that in, then it's definitely more down.
Yeah, it's just... It's like... It's actually kind of... It's good. I don't hate it. It's good.
Because
but
like we said, concept, like
the concept is
ecology,
great.
uniqueness and
Miru. What?
It's a transformation leather thing.
What? It's a cool fight. But what? Midogaron is actually great.
It's the widow wolf.
It's the widow wolf. Okay, incel wolf we kind of call it, but like...
Technically it's a widow wolf.
Basically, yeah. You kill one of the Orugarons, and you kill the Orugaron,
Yeah.
I think. And if the Kamo Orugaron survives, it evolves into a Midogaron because, they're actually mating for life. I mean, yes, they're pretty mediocre, but yeah, they're mating for life, and if it... loses its partner, it actually becomes just a very hateful, solitary hunter. And gains super speed.
Yeah, very aggressive and basically exhausts itself to death.
Which is kind of sad. Like, imagine that. It exhausts itself to death. Like, that's sad. Okay, so,
Okay, that's a turtle with a cannon.
Do I want to put it into what?
Well, if I look at what you already put in what, probably.
Because, it does really get explained a lot as well. It just lives in the desert and is a turtle with a cannon.
A very big turtle with a cannon.
Yeah, I really can't say a lot about it. Ecology-wise, they really don't give you a lot aside from it's a big turtle with a cannon. Okay. Do I need to explain it again?
Yes.
Okay, Pariapuria is an outstanding design because it is a proto-wyvern that is eternally hungry. It eats everything it sees. It just has a drive to do it.
Sometimes.
But also, it constantly overeats, and it just it's that one condition where you just keep eating and puking as a monster.
Bulimia?
Bulimia, yeah. It just eats, it pukes, it eats, it pukes. It just keeps it's ravenous. It's unhealthily ravenous in its being, and that's kind of cool in that regard. Basically it just falls asleep probably at some point, and it wakes up again and wants to eat. Porobarumu. That one is actually outstanding again.
How much ecology is there?
So we know about the thing that is actually... It's a solitary being. We know about that. That lives especially in highlands, and also is not really that aggressive until, either things intrude on its territory or there's mating season.
The Highland for some reason has lots of aggressive monsters.
Yeah, but also it's a hunting horn. There are a lot of we have two monsters right now that produce sound, and one uses it to attract other monsters, but this one uses sound like the hunting horns. It even
Glavenus is the longsword, Nagapuga is dual blades.
Yeah, even then, it is actually suggested that the hunting horn were developed from this monster. And that's great.
Fair. Definitely. Should be probably then at the top. Because it also has ties to culture.
Yes. Pokaradon. Here's the thing. It's a seal.
Big seal.
Big seal. Nothing more that we can say. It's a big seal. I would even put it into bland, maybe, because it's just a big seal.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really a big seal. That's everything. Rebidora. It's just an electric Eldritch.
Electromagnetism.
Electromagnetism, yes, but it really doesn't do a lot more. Rukidura is the full-on magnetic one.
Yes.
And this one is good.
Although I have to say, I still don't understand your criteria with what kind of ability from a monster is too much out there versus what's not.
I think the part is more like, if you look at some stuff, it's just, if they just want you to accept it to a degree, like, it's a turtle with a cannon. You're like, why would anything suck in sand and shoot it out? And they just never explained why it needed a cannon. How it even did that. An Elder Dragon controlling magnetism, though, that actually fits pretty well into...
So now we have magnetism, wind and water, but Quicksilver is too much.
The thing is, Quicksilver is never fucking explained. Also, it does very weird
we think
things.
it's Quicksilver. Technically, it's liquid metal. It's a metal that's liquid at room temperature, where there are a lot of metals that do that.
But the most common one is mercury.
Yes, that's why we think. But it doesn't do poison, so maybe it's not mercury. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
why do you draw the line there?
Here's the thing. I would say the part about Rookie Diora is just that it's actually a bit more into, okay, Rookie Diora is good, but it's also just...
I'm not saying anything against Rukudiora, but Haruto Merugo has not that much out there ability at that point.
Rukudiora, it's not about ability, I would say. The thing is, Rukudiora actually has ecology that interacts with the world.
What?
For example, from what we know, magnetism, or the ability to even harness it, came from it, because it used magnetic fields, and the ancient civilization and later civilization used that as a basis to really start using magnetism. Also, Rookie Diora is...
That's not ecology, that's tied to culture.
Okay. Also, from what I know, it has actually beef with, how's it called again? I know I'm really starting to feel it being late. Shit. Kushella the Aura.
I don't find anything about that.
I think I read about that once, because it, it uses magnetism, so it can actually do a lot on it.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of neat. It's tied a bit more into it instead of just it shows up and it controls liquid metal. You're like,
okay, but Kushala does that too. It shows up and it controls wind.
do you really want me to think now?
I'm just saying.
Listen,
that's the same with Garuba Dora. It shows up and it controls gold particles.
Fair point. I just want to point out.
It is there and it grows bamboo forests.
Yes, but also I kind of want to go through this and then get pizza.
You may want to, but I won't let you.
Chat, help me, please. Okay, Shantian. Okay, Shantian is,
It shows up and controls.
I mean, yes, but here's the thing. Shantian is actually great in my opinion, because it is a problem. Let me yes, let me have pizza. Pizza.
The more you scream, the less pizza you will get.
I will do pizza posting so hard. I might even make pizza tomorrow. Oh no, I actually do pizza on Friday, I think. We're gonna eat pizza and play Monster Hunter. Ha 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 ha. I am smart. I am very smart. Oh, by the way, I mean self-made pizza. Obviously, I make pizza myself. Yeah.
Shantian has at least a bit interesting law bits.
Especially since it interferes with the airship routes.
No,
What?
it does rarely.
Okay.
But to get to it, you need an airship.
Yeah, fair.
Because it's mainly seen above ocean and in volcanic regions.
Mm-hmm.
So an airship is basically the only way to get to it. Okay?
Yeah.
So, could you stop?
Let's just put some...
Yeah, still. Shantian's attack are always proportional to how threatening it expects the intruder to be.
Mm-hmm.
It can combine its elements, as in fire, thunder, and water, to the so-called Tenshu element, as well as paralysis, because it has thunder, blah, blah, blah. And it has so much power that it gets similar, but not the same as Alatreon, in the sense that it can become unstable. And if it really uses all of its power, there is a chance that it can implode and dies instantly.
Yeah. That's actually kind of great. It has a lot of stuff going on. They put work in it. Okay.
But otherwise, not much is known about its ecology.
Yeah. I'm just putting, by the way, a few more subspecies in here, but...
Where is it even now?
In great.
Ah, okay.
Outstanding one. Tycoon Zamuza. I made a whole fucking song about Tycoon Zamuza. I can really... You know what? Fuck it. Tycoon Zamuza is like front and center. This one is like the best fucking crab. I like crabs. I think the current crabs are already solid. Tycoon Zamuza is perfect. Why? First of all, Tycoon Zamuza dwells in, caves near oceans, on islands and such. Great. So it's a jungle dweller near oceans. You can put it into a lot of things. It's also encrusted with barnacles and rock and debris and,
Fungus, basically.
And fungus, and you're like, oh, it's like an old ship, coming up, ghost ship, and you whack at it, and it slowly breaks apart and reveals this big orange crab with a huge fist that starts attacking you, and
Well, it's sword and shield, basically.
Yeah, it's a bit sword and shield.
Not a bit, it is.
It is the sword and shield as a crab in its second phase, but also it then has a third phase where the shell cracks open and it turns out this whole outer shell is piloted by a smaller blue crab that has electricity and zaps around the arena. It is so good. Tycoon Zamuza is like the perfect embodiment of defense. It has more and more defense, but becomes more and more aggressive the more it actually has to fight. It is so great. I love it. Okay, this one is Toa Tetsuka Tora. It's the ice version of Teostra. And I kind of want to put it into two similar because it really is just kind of the ice version of Teostra.
Well,
it's a bit different than fight, but like... That's it. It's just kind of the ice version of Teostra.
Yeah. And it's more territorial in the sense that it's mostly in the polar sea and the snowy mountains.
Yeah. Torrid class. That one is good. It's electric bird.
It photosynthesizes, basically.
Yeah. And that's actually pretty neat. It's not a lot more, but like it's a nice bird.
Yeah. Solar panel bird wyvern.
We need more big bird wyverns. Unknown. Okay, let's just be real here. Whoops. Unknown goes into what?
Fair. Because the whole theme of unknown is, what the fuck is this?
It literally is the definition of what. It's called unknown. I think it can invade some quests of you, but it's basically a Rathian, a black Rathian.
At least it looks like it.
It looks like it, and it just relentlessly attacks you and tries to kill you. So...
It has like a lot of rage states, which it doesn't come down from because it just does...
Keeps escalating in terms of rage, and you're like, okay, it's cool. But yeah, we don't know anything about it, and that's the point. But like again, it's what? Why does it look like a Rathian? What the fuck is going on here? Bleh. Okay, so it's basically this one is good.
Varuzaburusu. It's a mouthful. It's the origin species of
Diablos.
Yeah.
Basically, Diablos once lived inside of the volcanic region, and one of the key things it had there that it basically ate one only type of cacti that grew there. This obviously wasn't good and healthy for the species. This is why they kind of moved out of it, but also
it was basically in a time of no food in the desert.
Yeah,
but or more, if you want to be more precise, they started there. Diablos are the offspring of them, basically.
Yeah, that went back when there were more cacti. But they basically
lots of species in Monster Hunter originated in the volcanic region.
Oh yeah, which could make them forged. Ooh. Anyway, the thing is, they're basically eating the meth cacti. No, seriously, the thing basically gives them an energy burst, and they just go. Bleh. But also they protect it with their life. They're junkies. It's the meth cactus. They're protecting and eating the meth cactus. It's kind of funny. Violent Lavienza. It's too similar. It's just more of that. Volyang.
Another origin species that originated in the volcano.
Yeah, it's good. Also, it's Rayang mit Boss-Transformation. I'm sorry, I had to be cringe. Honestly, it's a great design. It's a great fight, and also just kind of like
the original Rajangs, basically, that had fire element.
Yeah, it actually adds something to Rajang, who are just Super Saiyans, and made them, and it's like, yeah, they were a bit different. A lot different, actually.
Yeah, those light themselves on fire.
Yeah. Yamakurai are too similar.
So Volyang doesn't get the what treatment because it's a monkey that set itself on fire?
No, because it doesn't really set itself on fire. It actually has, flintstone embedded in its arms, and that due to friction creates fire.
Yeah, but it still sets itself on fire.
Hey.
I'm just saying, I think you're a bit subjective here.
You know what? This isn't easy, but we can just put this. By the way, Yamakurai is just a subspecies of Yamatsukami, and
it can grow plants.
It can grow plants. It's a bit more of a fight, which is neat, but yeah. All the Zeniths can go into it's basically too similar thing. Because they're just upgraded versions of their, fights. So.
There's a Zenith version of Harudo Merugu? Never seen that.
Yes, we fought that one, and it's horrifying.
I fought hardcore. That was horrifying.
It is. I mean, there's also Zenith Taikun Zamuza, which is probably the best fight ever, but we have never played it. Okay, so only thing missing is. I don't know what ST is, so we're not going to touch that one.
That's the we have not fought it.
Yes.
Category.
Zena's... Which one is that? Oh, the water wyvern.
Is the water wyvern.
That one is actually pretty great. I can't really say a lot about it. It's basically... it is Bera Kurusu and sibling with water. It just uses it, it just actually uses it instead of, channeling energy, it just uses it to slap things. And it's cool.
Slap things?
Yeah, the long appendages on the wings, it doesn't actually channel anything through it, it just slaps them around.
Yeah, and creates water there.
Yeah, I mean, not really create it, it splashes it.
No, it also creates it, basically.
Okay. Hey, really?
Yeah, because there's no
Okay.
water there.
Zeoruku.
Seoryosu.
I think the thing is, it's supposed to actually be in, stuff like the Painted Falls where there is water on the ground and it slaps in there. It's just, when you fight it in the tower, they just have to pretend it's there.
And in the Painted Falls, there's also not always water, so I don't know. Your call.
What I know, it's supposed to use the slapping, but this one is what?
It's a 500 uses light.
Yes, like, what?
Well, you have Railgun RGB Dragon, and you don't care about
No. That one is, electricity focused in one place. This one is... What?
It's a
It's
laser.
light.
Light focused on one place.
But it just creates it.
And electricity also is just created there.
Okay, but as you can see, Frontier has a bunch of good, great, and outstanding monsters.
I would say there aren't many outstanding monsters according to your tier list.
I mean, there are not many, but the ones that are outstanding are outstanding.
Maybe.
And this is our general list. Hope you like this one. It's fucking 2 a.m. I want pizza.
And I wanted to say, maybe you should go into every tier and sort it according to what you think is best.
I should do that. But not today.
Also, in a few hours, maybe.
No.
Yeah. Like, in under 22 hours, Nya will be available again
No!
to sort the list.
We don't want to stream today anymore. We already did a lot of long stream.
Okay, you said next day, so in under 22 hours.
Okay. Can I save this one? I don't think I can save this one. No.
Save or download?
Oh, save or download, yes.
But you can only download the image.
Oh, thanks. I guess it's successfully downloaded. But yeah, maybe I will do that later and upload it then.
Well, not today, as you said.
Not today, but hope you had fun. Hope you had fun watching us play Frontier. Yeah, hope you had fun. You know what, actually, I can just do it like this. You get out and
I'm gone.
out. Yeah. Good night, Claire. And you all have a wonderful time tomorrow. Yeah, we might... I don't know if we start posting about Monster Hunter Wilds tomorrow, because supposedly it is already arriving tomorrow. So we can actually try the PS5 version and say how well it runs on base PS5. Apparently solid, despite being blurry. And then on Friday you will see us stream a lot of Monster Hunter Wilds, probably already early. So who knows? See you around. Hope you had fun. We're going back to the tier list and have a good one. Bye.
Bye.